No, Abod, you're not ready. That's a shame. Live right now. I just started right now. It's okay. I just started right now. It's only been a minute. It's okay. Yeah, just started right now. That's all. No, don't gotta worry. Okay, so let's get to some questions. You guys are asking them straight away. So, all right. So how am I? I'm doing pretty well. Just a little tired, but a bunch of reasons for that. So when's the demo? As I said in my gameplay video, impressions video, they didn't give any information. They didn't confirm or deny. They said no comment. My thinking is they're leaning towards not having a demo, but again, if they said no demo, they would have said no, they would have told me. So it's kind of, I don't know. No, so Chancellor, you're not late. If it's fine. Everything is fine. This is starting 3 o'clock. You're fine. You're okay. So yeah, I wish there was a demo. I wish that what I got to play was something that everyone could play themselves, because, you know, I recognize that me playing the game for like 3 hours and trying to give you everything from that, every question that you want to have answered, is going to be a little difficult. So maybe they'll put out a demo, maybe they won't. You're late. We're already ending the stream. Screw you. Screw you, bro. Okay, so right. Cram, you know that's not how it goes. Did you guys give them feedback, or did you play like crazy? That's another question. So, my focus is more on just playing like crazy, because like, I mean, it was new stuff for everything, and you know, it dropped right in with the Bakamatsu period, and I was like, whoa, this is weird. We're time traveling to the future. What the hell? So that was kind of wild. So I focused on a lot of the changes rather than feedback. But with the feedback I did give, I did tell Master, like, hey, it'd be kind of nice to have 3 guardian spirits or skills per guardian spirit. That'd be kind of nice. And like I said in my video, he did say, like, yeah, he'll tell the team, but it's up to the team to decide what they want to do with it, you know? He's just a community manager. The actual people creating the game, they're going to have their own perspective on things. So, right, like, Master did ask if I noticed like any major bugs. I think there was like one point where like I couldn't get past a certain like lesser crucible. But like there was just so much to process in such a short period of time for me that like I just focused on like trying to appreciate the game at large, or whatever I got to play. So that's what I can tell you, Vitar, about the feedback and playing like crazy. It did the best that I could with what I had. So Axel, how's it going, Poofer? It's going good. I can finally talk about Nioh 3 things. All of it. No gawky romance. Get that shit out of here. So yeah, I definitely want a demo for sure. All right, so yeah, it's good to see you guys pop in. All right, so Bright Superstition, you're asking me a question. Which weapon do you think got the most positive new changes since Nioh 2? Holy shit. I think the one that stands out to me is the axe. I think axe got a ton of love from just that's off the top of my head. It got a on key pulse move, like a move forward key pulse type move, like Fists has. I was like, what the shit? It's pretty cool. A lot of the abilities were reassigned to different slots, different combos put to different slots. Like, it looks pretty badass, all things considered. But that, I think, has a lot of the more obvious changes. I think weapons like Spear, for example, they got a lot of reworks in terms of the input bindings. And so at first glance, I remember thinking, like, it doesn't look all that different. But having different combo enders and combo follow-ups and different choices kind of changes how I approach the weapon altogether. So that's certainly going to be something to evaluate over time. When it comes to the ninja style stuff, there's just so much to process. It's really hard for me to say like which one has the most positive new changes, because there's just a fuck ton of changes, and it just became overwhelming. So when I talked to Last Load about this, we both kind of realized that like, hey, it's gonna take like 100 hours for us to get through this and feel like really comfortable and knowledgeable about everything. So definitely a lot to process. So I hope that addresses your question. Okay, Axel, you asked me, anything that caught your attention in the character creator, any settings worth beyond mentioning the controls? For the character creator, I wasn't able to spend much time with it. I spent like maybe a few minutes, but so I can't really evaluate. I did try to look at hairstyles. They had over like 50 of them, but in between what I wanted to prioritize, focus on, that the character creation, like I just had like a general like, oh, it seems cool. Yes, you can have different appearances or different styles, and the presets are helpful, but I can't say how much depth there is about it because I just don't know. So sorry, I'm not able to give you the depth that you're looking for there. Any settings though worth mentioning beyond the controls? Again, there were just so many different settings. It's like I didn't get time to like dive deep into that at all, because I just was so focused on like just playing the demo. I lost like an hour of time going through all the skills and trying to get all that information to you guys. So I was like, well, I only got 2 hours left before I have to fly home. So let me try to pick the most important things. I do remember that they did have like the style shift and burst break separation, but that was something we already knew, so we saw that. That's like the thing that stands out to me, to be honest. Okay. Next question from Blorb. With Bakumatsu in the preview, will the full game include modern day Japan missions? And so is there a chance we get to fight Abe Shinzo? I don't know if we'll go to modern Japan, but it's not out of I mean, they went time travel into the future. It's entirely possible they go further. I doubt it, because they still want to keep things the fantastical stuff, but hey, you never know. Alright, another question. Autumn Red. In your third video on the playlist, you fight a group of human enemies, and considering there is Takasugi Shinsaku too, how did you find the fights against humans this time around? Were they fun? I didn't necessarily notice any like big upgrades in human enemy AI. Takasugi Shinsaku was fun overall. I think the one thing I did notice is that like once I get them winded, you can't like knock them down for like loops from what I remember. It's like, okay, you have a certain period of time to get your out of key punish. So you can like punish them, and then once they're out of key, you can do like your stab, and then like that's it, then they reset. So I think there's like a bit of a rework so that humans weren't necessarily as trivialized, but given that most of the time I fought yokai, it's still a little too early for me to tell. Okay, so I think they were better, but how much better I can't say. I don't know yet. All right, mostly my questions have been answered. So this is from Soulpool. So is there a butt slider? Unfortunately, I don't know. I don't know if there's a butt slider. That's maybe one thing I'll investigate next time. Did I meet Gaki father? Get out of here. You're emotionally banned. Get out of here. Okay. I like how moves that were on L1X have been moved to other inputs to prevent overlaps. Yeah, that's nice. I remember when it came to custom controls, I was able to customize my controls quite a bit. And there was like type A through type E. And if you wanted like Nioh 2 controls, you just go to like type E. It was like basically the same thing with the guard inputs and whatever. There's no like awkward like dodge forward inputs. It's like you can reassign it how you want. And then you can have your own custom controls where you like really map it out the way you like, which I think was good. Unlikely as it might be to happen, I really, really want Cardinal Wreck from Rise of the Ronin added to the sword tree. They kind of did add that with Swift Step with the heavy modification on it. You do Swift Step, and then you sheath your sword, and then a bunch of little hits happen. So it's there. In fact, I can show you. Let me get this out. Hold on, let me, come on. Here. So yeah, Swift Step heavy. I'm gonna play that in slow motion, alright? Okay, so this is Morning Moon Impact. Morning Moon Impact, by the way, was like pretty awesome. Like that shockwave is great. Now here's Swift Step heavy, so Ahiru Ronin. You can see how whoosh 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 whoosh. So pretty rad. And then yeah, there's a lot of other skills and whatnot. So there's that. Okay, so I saw fighting. So a question from Lich. I saw fighting cowboy observe the living artifacts kind of OP. Do I agree? No. I think it's powerful. I think it does what it's supposed to do, but I don't think it's OP. I think it's reasonable for what it's trying to provide. So Element, you hope Switchglaive is one of the weapons that are added. You know what's better than hope? You want to know what's better than hope? There's hope and then there's knowing. How about I just fucking show you? Would you look at that? So as per Nioh 3's website, all 14 weapons are now officially confirmed. So axes have been added. Switchglaive has been added as well. And then cestices. For ninja style, ninja swords, hatchets, and split staves, I guess, have been added. All 14 weapons have been confirmed officially on their websites. So yeah, you should be all good in that department. At least knowing what they are. Okay, 3 spirits would be cool, but I think more than anything, I'd want them to be swappable and to have more ninjutsu slots. Yeah, Woody, I'm kind of in the same boat. I'm okay with 3 spirit skills. I'm actually like not too big on like having like a bajillion options, which is bizarre. Because I find, as I say in my gameplay impressions video, that they added so many dimensions of gameplay that the combinations that are possible with that is just like kind of ridiculous. There's so many. So I'm not as attached to it as I used to be. So a question from Chef. Any new spear moves? Let me take a look. All right, let's see. I don't think I saw any new moves for the spear. One thing I did notice is that certain inputs are reassigned. So for example, like if you look in the Google Drive document that I have linked for you guys in the description of my main video, things like backslash, the inputs have been changed. So it's, I think the input for this has been changed. Yeah, so it used to be like guard square. Now it's like guard triangle. It's like a small difference, but it's there. And so Entangle, for example, which was a parry like in mid stance, or not a parry in mid stance, an ability that was only in mid stance, now it's in low stance. I'm like, oh, all right, I guess it's kind of interesting. Or Fatal Thrust, like it's just like a rebind. So as opposed to like, you know, how it used to be in Nioh 2, now it's just like hold triangle. I'm like, that's pretty intuitive. Or something that's actually really big for Spear is that fluidity has been modified, and it is actually awesome. So in fluidity in Nioh 2 is basically like you can Spear flourish from any stance, which with what we learned from how to do some fancy shit in Nioh 2, we made it redundant, so you could like have the Mystic Art basically really early if you knew what you're doing, or effectively have it really early. But now fluidity has been modified to be a very meaningful choice, in my opinion. Which is Spear Flourish gets a speed up. Oh, and Rainbow Ruse. Both are faster. And their wind down is better as well. I'm like, Yo, I'm picking this now. Bye-bye stability. Hello fluidity. So that was pretty rad. Okay, so a question from, I guess, Siak 2092. Do we have a launcher move at all? So launch a samurai class and a ninja class and combo in midair. I need to know that. Yes, we do. You do have launchers. So let's see. Let me bring out a video. So for example, let's get to Odachi. Yeah, here we go. Retrograde flow water. Retrograde flow water is a launcher. And then if you, I guess, whether you can switch to ninja style is a difficult matter. But yeah, you definitely have launchers. There's definitely a thing. But in terms of me getting into specifics with that, I don't know for certain. But there are definitely like mid-air combo stuff so you can do with ninja class. Okay, question from Incognito. How's performance? Do you know if there will be 120 Hz mode? Performance when I was playing on the PS5 Pro was pretty spot on. Like, it was pretty seamless. I don't really remember any major issues. I just could immerse myself in the game, and that was pretty nice. Do I know if there will be 120 Hz mode? I don't know. Maybe I'll get more information when it comes to PC stuff. I imagine they'll have that. Can't say yet. Next question. Mark the Exterminator. Poofer Llama, are human enemies still as annoying and block everything? From the times I fought Shinsaku, Takasugi Shinsaku and just the regular Shinsengumi enemies, they didn't really seem that annoying and block everything. I guess I didn't really notice that as much, but I didn't really spend the most time, so I can't say. And so Space Sloth. Hello, thanks for the info for Nioh 3. Do you feel like Omio got nerfed into the ground, and how do you feel about Omio and Nioh 3? So I have admittedly a little bit of a bias because I wasn't that big into Onmyo magic in Nioh 2. In Nioh 3, I'm more incentivized to use it. I don't feel like it got nerfed to the ground. Like, I did use water familiar talismans, and they were pretty handy. But testing out all the other Omyo magic, I can't say. But Omyo magic is now also involving summoning the using soul cores. And those summoning seals, some of them are like fucking ridiculous. Like, I use Raiju and it just like deleted Yasha sometimes. Like, they're really powerful, so it's too early for me to tell about like the final states of Onmyo magic, but at the very least it got me curious. So that was pretty fun. Alright, so Arasaram 7168. Hey, hope you're doing well. Saw your video and thanks for the insights. 3 questions. Is there a ledge grab when climbing? No, there was no ledge grab. You had to like jump stuff. So there was a height limit. And did I find onsen? Not really familiar with what that is. If you could clarify that when I get to it. Okay, another question. Disillusion 2910. Did they consider bringing back running speed to its glory days? You know, Payne, you happen to ask the same questions every damn time, no matter what. You've been asking this shit for 5 years. So here's what I will say. You have Gale Sprint, okay? You can just run around and sprint forever, okay? And then there's faster movement shit. That's it. That's all you get. So question from Mr. $2 million. How is the difficulty? The damage dealt by the enemies in the clips I saw felt rather low to the previous games. I hope the game isn't too easy. That's a very good question. So, the difficulty was fair. What you were seeing with the low damage, especially early on in my footage, is because our characters were deliberately overleveled for the purposes of that demo. I was told as much by like the staff at Koei Tecmo America, where they're like, yeah, like they kind of designed it just for the purposes of this demo, so it's like you could take 5 or 6 hits before dying. And then, but once you kind of get out of like the first hub, the first area, and you start to venture out, then it's like, okay, maybe like 2-3 hits. Like you have to play more carefully. And I did notice that because I was like, damn, I'm getting away with so much shit in the beginning. This is kind of easy. And I'm like, well, considering I'm rusty as fuck, this is good for just like kind of getting back into it. So that was pretty handy. So yeah, I think the difficulty was appropriate, and also bear in mind this is difficulty 1. This isn't like Dream of the Nioh where shit's gonna get wilder. This is base game experience, Dream of the Samurai experience. And considering how much they've upped the ante, I'm actually a little worried about what will happen with successive difficulty cycles, but I'm excited. There are ancient Japan Glocks in the game. I was kidding before. Well, you got your wish. So question. Were you able to burst counter without style shift? Yes. You can set it up so that there are specific controls where you can separate style shift from burst break. So yeah, you can just style shift, or which will also do the burst break, but you can just burst break but not style shift. You can have that separation. All right, so a question. Man, how many? I'm 15 minutes behind. Jeez, so many questions. Was there anything you disliked during your gameplay? Yes, I didn't get to play enough. I didn't get to play enough. And I really wanted to really understand more. That was about it. In terms of anything I'd like, in terms of actual content of what I disliked, I honestly can't, like, there's nothing that's coming up to my mind. I was pretty happy with it. For a base game, my expectations were a base game experience, and for a base game experience, we're more than satisfied. Like, it was fun. I'm like, yeah, I'll have fun for sure. This will be a good time. So question, how's the skill variety for weapons? It's pretty expansive. So if you see on my screen here, let me see. There are a lot of skills. All right, hold on. Let me get the video out. Here's your skill variety. All right. I'll just kind of speed it up. You can, so this video that I'm showcasing here is already available on, you can check it out for yourself. So I've already published this to YouTube and whatnot, so just as a reminder, for those of you who haven't seen this already, you can check out my whole playlist for the Nioh 3 hands-on preview, and you can see all the new skills. There's a video here. It's still unlisted, but I'm just staggering release of these publicly. But you can check out this entire playlist to determine like what you think of the new skills. And also don't forget, one thing I did add for... No, I don't care about this ad. Why do I get ads on my own fucking videos? But don't forget, if you want to see the skill variety yourself and you want some screenshots, you can take a look here. It's a Google Drive document, and I uploaded nearly 300 files at a time. And so the character creator, everything, investigating things like hairstyles and whatnot. Yeah, I don't care. So yeah, check it out at your own leisure, and you should be in good shape. All right, 4-hour stream today. I'm intending to just go for 3. How about game performance? The performance for my time when I was playing the PlayStation 5 Pro was good. I didn't have any issues, like really anything at all. It ran pretty seamlessly. I could just get immersed in the game. So hey Poof, do you know if they're adding a purple element back, like Earth or Corruption? I don't think so. I mean, just based on what I've seen, we're just having 4 elements. But, yeah, so I don't think they are. I do hope there's pistols as well. Okay, so another question. What do you think of the enemy distribution positioning with the more open level design? Does it feel more or less like you expect? I thought that the way the enemies were distributed was pretty familiar. Like, it was just like, it felt pretty comfortable from what I'm used to with Nioh 2. So it's like, the way that I feel about the open fields is pretty much like, hey, they just mash the main missions and side missions into like one big ass map. So some areas a little less dense, you know, kind of like in side missions. But then when you have the main missions, the crucibles, shit gets intense and packed. And it's just like very, very dense. So yeah, like, and then when you have the open field bosses kind of just like littered around certain areas, it definitely gets engaging. So I wasn't like, there wasn't a moment where I was like, oh, there's nothing to do in this area where there should be something to do. so it felt fine. How long did I stay at Team Ninja Studios? So just to be clear, I stayed at Koei Tecmo America stuff. Um I was just there in total for like in California for like 2 days, not even really. So I got there and then I had like a dinner with a bunch of other content creators like Fighting Cowboy, for example, or Missed Out 5000 Watts. Um, and yeah, we had like dinner at a nice Mexican restaurant. And then the next day is when I went to Koei Tecmo America's offices to actually like play the game before I had to fly out. So Witty, you're asking, I saw some L1 square triangle parries like Leaf Glide were changed to L1 forward. Does that mean they don't have an animation anymore until they connect like Backwave? I didn't get to test that out, so it's possible. I don't know. I don't think I don't know if you can whiff them, if that's what you're asking. How good is the open fields? So it's open field, not open world. Open field stuff just felt like I said, it just felt appropriate for Nioh 3, like in just like the Nioh way things are. It wasn't just like exploration, just all right, a bunch of open, empty shit. It was like, okay, there's like some purpose to like every part here. So whether it is like some secret loot or like some collectible or there's just something, there felt like purpose. So it was pretty nice. I liked it overall. I didn't feel like, oh no, this is just empty garbage. I was like, no, this feels like I'm playing Nioh still. This has that density, there's that tension, there's, hey, I have to fucking watch out for a dumbass Gaki to come out of the corner. So yeah. How's thoughts on the Raiju boss? I thought it was a cool boss, but I think my character is a bit over leveled for that. Because that boss died very quickly. I mean, as you saw in like less than a minute. So, I think once my character is appropriately scaled, I'll be able to have a more meaningful opinion about it. Okay. So, how's the character creator? I didn't get to go in much in depth with it. So, I can't really say all too much. But it seemed fine. I like, that's not one thing I pay too much attention to, all things considered. Okay, so next question, and I have a lot. How many minutes behind? Nearly 20? Holy shit. Okay. Do I think the Hayabusa fight will be base game? I noticed the Zuna drop was in base game Ninja Sword. So I don't know if there'll be a Hayabusa fight, but I do know there was like one of those skills that you can unlock by defeating Yasusuke Sawamura, who was, if you don't know who that is, in Rise of the Ronin, that was effectively your Ninja Gaiden boss. So probably. All right, so question, did you talk about graphics? Just compare the alpha to now. I think the graphics in this demo looked a lot cleaner than they did in the alpha. I mean, it looked pretty. I like my overall, like, I know my gameplay impression stuff was pretty generalized, which is because there's a lot for me to talk about now. But overall, like, I just thought like, hey, I'm into a really good looking, fun, polished version of Nioh 2, and this is I just like stopped trying to look for reasons or things to be concerned about, and I just started to focus on, hey, how can I enjoy this more? This is already fun. I'm excited. Let's keep playing. So I thought the graphics were great. I thought they were reasonably great. So question about the human stuff. Does that mean I can't do 2 times EI into Final Blow anymore? Probably not. Did the deflect mechanic feel very strong? Like, is there situations where you'd benefit more from dodges or strafing instead of parrying? Deflect felt strong, but it didn't feel like OP. There are definitely moments where dodging or strafing would be preferable instead of parrying. The truth is, though, when it comes to evaluating like the nuances between all of these, it's a little difficult for me to do so, given I only played it for like 2 hours, really. I did talk to Master about like, hey, now I see parries, like, I'm wondering what are the pros and cons between going for a deflect versus going for a parry, going for a dodge. Like, are there going to be pros and cons, or is it going to be like one mechanic is just arguably better than the rest? And I don't know yet, but I guess we'll find out over time. How good is the open world? I thought the open field was fine. Oh, I answered that question. Do the yokai abilities feel more sluggish now that you don't transform into the yokai, but just summon them? No, they didn't feel sluggish at all. It's just, I summoned them. And it worked pretty well. Like, in some of my gameplay clips I show, like, I use Hino Enma and then I use a Guardian Spirit skill and they, like, sync up pretty well. It was pretty cool. I don't think I felt they were sluggish. It was just like a split-second cast, and I think eventually with some of the skills that we get, like the common skills, we can eventually set it up so that we can use them to effectively item cancel. So all that to say that, like, the demo wasn't a complete representation of what we can expect. I heard red kappas are still a thing. Yes, they're still a thing. Did I check the website yet? It has some new things and Steam requirements. Yeah, I already checked it. Yeah, so if you are curious about how it will do on PC, that's something you can look into as well. So another question, R2 circle for burst counters there? Yeah, you can customize your burst counters to be run exactly the way as they did in Nioh 2, or you can change it however you like. Did it let you change input for skills, like block heavy instead of block light, or different combinations instead of using joystick inputs and whatnot? Yeah, you can change skills inputs. You can customize your control significantly. Okay. Alright, I'm still catching up. What about skills progression in dojos? Are they still putting multiple of them in order to get the different skills, like Warrior Novice for Flux 2 and whatnot? Feels so unnecessary. I think they're kind of revitalizing how they address that. So it's like to unlock certain skills, you beat certain enemies. But I don't know how the dojos are going. That's not something I explored at all. Skill progression, at least from my limited time in this demo, like I was able to unlock Flux 2 pretty early. I think stances were unlocked from the get-go, so I don't know how the intro experience is going to be. I don't know. But based on like what I showed in the screenshots with, like, let's say I go to Samurai skill tree, say let's go to the sword. So like if I go to Backwave 2, for example, this doesn't appear to have anything attached to it, or like Blue Moon or Haze. Let's see if I can find something. Yeah, like Morning Moon Impact. Unlocked with a martial arts guide. I don't know what the hell that means, but they've changed a lot of those requirements. Or even like Reverse Impact. You fight this guy, Kosaka Masanobu or something. Or Severing. I remember someone had asked, hey, is there Severing Spin? Yeah, look, Crucible Weapons. You can unlock it. I'm like, okay, that's pretty cool. So, there's a lot that's being changed, all things considered. So, alright. Switchglaive is samurai, that is correct. Yeah. Any word on if character transformations are back? I couldn't tell. That's not something I was able to investigate. Did the gear effects look fairly similar to 2? I didn't investigate that either. But one thing that was changed, and I think this kind of will be a big deal for many of you if you haven't seen this. Check this out. Come on. You remember? Alright, so I think a lot of you who've played Nioh 2 are very familiar with Benzaiten's Grace and Susanoo's Grace. You can equip that versatility shit from just as a common skill. It's a mastery. You just equip versatility. It's right there. So what that means is sets like Benzaiten's or Susanoo are going to be reworked because one of the big aspects of it is changed. So right, Axel, this is like a mystic art. So you pick one, you can pick one. So it could be pretty spicy. Yeah, versatility is just like, here you go, have a default thing. Have fun. right? So, okay. So my thinking is that the gear effects will be different. How they will be different, I do not know. We are back to active on guard. Even better, Sinblaine, you can customize your controls. So if you want the directional inputs, you can have them. If you want active on guard, you can have them. If you want to customize it to something else, you can adjust it as you see fit. So you do what you want, basically. Okay. How do you think weapon-specific parries and mid-stance will work with the general-purpose deflecting guard? Is there really an incentive to use them? Like sword haze, why would I do that ever? I think that's a wonderful question, and I wish I wish I could have really tested out the weapons a bit more, because that's something I wanted to understand too. Because, right, like, why would I do haze when it's riskier compared to deflect or perfect guard? What's the incentive? Okay, sure, a damage boost, but it's like, well, but deflect is so much safer. I don't know. That's the thing I wanted to test out, and I just was not able to do that, but I imagine that's something that would be on their radar. Am I tempering correctly that we can now parry and deflect yokai? Yeah, you can deflect pretty much anything in the game. Pretty much. Except, I think, grabs and some burst attacks. Hi, any word on PvP? No, no word. What food did they provide to me? We went to like a nice Mexican restaurant and I had some like really nice fresh guacamole. I had, what else? I got like some enchiladas that were like so good, but I like couldn't finish it because it was just like so enriching to my body. It was so good. And then for lunch, they like just gave us like a whole bunch of like, what was it? I got like Jersey Mike's for free. Got a bunch of snacks. They had like a ton of food. It was like a buffet. Thoughts on no Onmyo Magic skill tree? I think I have a different perspective on Onmyo Magic, like I said, because I was never that big into it in Nioh 2. So for me, not having that is not that big of a deal. But what I will say is that I was incentivized to use Onmyo Magic with the summoning seals. So summoning seals, and I was curious about the jutsu. I got curious, which is the main thing. And, you know, as long as I'm curious and I'm having fun with it, I'm all good. But I can understand that other people are a little dismayed that there isn't a formal Onmyo Magic skill tree. I don't know, like, I know it's a jarring change, but for me, it's like, yeah, it's too early for me to tell how it's going to feel. But to me, so far, so good. Do I feel this game's Takasugi lacks some of the Rise of the Ronin's Takasugi's Lucia appeal? I don't know how to answer that question. I guess I never really thought, what does that even mean? I don't know. Like, I didn't have that much of attachment to all the characters in Rise of the Ronin, truth be told. So there was that. It was fine. So, a question. In one of the clips, seemed like you changed Sign of the Cross and Dual Swords into Tiger Sprint on Sword nearly seamlessly during Arts Proficiency. Is this a property specific to Arts Proficiency? No, it is not. It is something you can do in Nioh 2 and even in Nioh 1. You can swap your weapons. I refer to as sheath swaps, but you can do that, and I took advantage of that in Nioh 3 as well, which made it awesome. Okay. Thanks for doing this Q&A. Will you play on PC or PS5? I'm playing on PS5. Hey Poof, do you know if you will be able to hide secondary weapons and rage weapons? I imagine we'll be able to, since we were able to do it for Nioh 2. You still can't recharge them? I assume you're referring to summoning seals? No, but if you take a look at this image where it's summoning basics, let's see. You can prepare more. I didn't really mess around with it all that much, just again a time thing, but We can at least repair more. Whether we'll be able to recharge them is to be seen. I imagine something will come out related to that. Who knows? I mean, they had Grace of Tsukuyomi in Nioh 2. They put versatility as just a base game common thing. It wouldn't surprise me if they added, hey, you can recharge your summoning things. You can either prepare a lot or you can recharge a few, but you got to engage with it a different way. Who knows? Cannot say. I don't know yet. So, question, can you cancel soul cores with guardian spirit skills? Yeah, I did that a lot. it was just like, quick cast, okay, I see the thing, cancel with the guardian spirit skill, great. Anything similar to corruption, or is it just fire, water, wind, lightning? I didn't see anything similar to corruption. I know the crucible weapons, they have enhanced damage, but in terms of like the corruption or purity stuff, that doesn't seem to exist. Onsen equals hot spring. Yeah, they have hot springs in Nioh 3. Performance wasn't great in the alpha. Has it been improved? Yes. Oh, hey, what's up? Last load. Yes, it has been improved. My time, at least playing it on the PS5 Pro, is so good I didn't even notice there were any hiccups. So, yeah, pretty cool. How was the gunplay? Are the muskets fun? The range weapon play, I think, is pretty much the same as it's been before. So for me, it's not something I'm going to invest too much time into, but, you know, it's there. I don't know if there's going to be anything like dual pistols, but the guns, the bows and arrows, the cannons, it felt like almost exactly the same. But there might be more support with things like ninjutsu. Who knows? I don't know, to be honest. Do I think Wolong is in the same universe? I think they'll have references, but I think Nioh is just going to be its own separate entity. Is Nioh 3 a Souls-like? For you, Jarker Papu, yes, it is for you a Souls-like. Have I missed any important informations from the first 20 minutes? Covered a lot of questions, so you just have to see the questions I answered. Okay. Is there any ability to help you grass? Sorry, I didn't understand the question. Did I request more Gaki? You are also emotionally banned. How was a skill point gain experience? We talked about exploration versus fighting, whatnot. I couldn't evaluate that. It seemed okay. I mean, I picked up skills. I did get samurai locks from meeting certain enemies. Exploration was a part of it. If you look at some of the clips that I have in my playlist. Oh, nice hair. But like when you fight, say like Raiju or whatever, you'll just get like some locks, and you'll unlock an ability. I think it was like Twin Dragon's Water or something. So it was just like anytime I killed stuff, I unlocked something. It wasn't just. It felt like progression had some meaning behind it too. Okay, do they had PS5 Pros for the demo test? Yeah. You have a good question. What does wind do? I imagine the other elements will do what we know now. So wind basically makes the enemy take extra key damage, and I think they deal less key damage to you. Question, it's not like Ronin. Yeah, I mean, you can see some influences from Ronin, but this felt like a fundamentally Nioh game in the sense of, I mean, it just felt like Nioh 2 except bigger and better. That's what it felt like to me. It felt very comfortable, but it was like, it felt new at the same time. It was good. Okay. How's the pacing overall, in your opinion? I thought the pacing for the Nioh 3 stuff was good. I thought it was just fine. I mean, you just kind of go from, it felt okay, just all the side missions and main missions were all just like interconnected, and it felt okay. When things felt a little more dead is because I was in a side mission area. But then once I get into like the meat and potatoes of the side mission, I'm like, oh shit, you got an enemy base with 8 enemies and 4 of them are attacking me. Fuck. A guy shooting a cannon from the distance, a ninja shooting an arrow at me at the same time. And then, yeah, and then I have like a Yoki and another ninja like up close and personal. I'm like, holy shit. Spam all the things. Or like in the first part of the demo, it's like a Yasha with like 3-4 jailer Onis, and I'm like, fucking hell, dude. What am I getting myself into? So, or it'd be like a Nureona with like another thing. I'm like, okay, this is a lot to process. So it got intense. So like it kept me on my toes when it needed to. When it needed to relax, it was like relaxed pretty well. So I appreciated the pacing. It felt pretty natural. For me anyway. Do the ninja weapons feel distinct from each other with the new moves from this demo? Yeah, they're distinct and they're pretty complicated. Okay. What about the drip? Is it like Nioh 2 or Ronin? I think the answer is it's both. Now that you have Bakumatsu period, you can have Ronin. I think the answer is both. Was the UI improved upon in your opinion? I think it was good. For me, like I'm not gonna, I can't go like nitty gritty in depth perhaps as other people might. But for me, I noticed it most with like the customization for the controls, where I was like, oh, like it's just a little easier to process, a little easier to like distinguish. And so that was pretty nice. I definitely appreciated that. And so it just kind of added to like the seamless experience, which was good. Even though the game was overwhelming, I knew that if I just like invested my time into it, I would do all right. I didn't get to check out things like customization of the HUD. Again, there's just so many different things to process. I just couldn't do it all in a short period of time. How smooth were the directional skill inputs to pull off? I'll tell you, here's what I'll say. I didn't worry about that shit because I customized my controls so that I didn't have to do a single directional skill input if I didn't want to. So I put it back to Nioh 2 controls and just took out that variable altogether. So how smooth were they? I don't know because I just went back to Nioh 2 controls. But from my time in the alpha demo, they felt fine. But I understand for other people, not so much. Alright, question. We saw Mizuki in the first demo, but will we see Onryoki, Kasha, Otakemaru, and others make a return? I can't speak for Otakemaru, but Onryoki and Kasha are confirmed. And Nenra made a return, as you can kind of see right here. So Hino Enma makes a return because she's a soul core. Ryomen Sukuna because it's a soul core. So I think there's a lot that's being adjusted. So yeah, I mean they are introducing quite a lot. Who knows what they will bring back, and we'll find out. So question, did it still have the slide cancel and style switch cancel? I think it did. I don't think they got rid of those things, but I didn't also test those out. So I can't say. Are burst counters in Nioh 3? Yes. Hey dude, do active abilities following a quick attack or stronger track happen quickly and fluidly? Yeah, as far as I could tell, everything was super fluid. It was most noticeable, especially with like R's proficiency, just chaining things back to back to back to back to back. Like it's just like so fast. I'm like, all right, I need to learn how to keep up with this shit. So I would say the answer is yes, it's very smooth. I know we're really not about the RPG stats here, but have you found out about what the white dot affixes meant in equipment? I know the empty dots were for fixed affixes as like set bonuses. I think it's I'll have to take a look, Orphan of Costs, but I think it's congruent with what we've come to expect with Nioh 2. I remember there was like some set bonus that had like ultimate defense, and I was like, what the fuck is this shit? But like I just didn't investigate that so much because I had to prioritize other things. So unfortunately, I can't really say. No blacksmith in the demo. No blacksmith that I saw. Okay. Nioh 2 is one of my favorite games. Do you think it's worth buying the deluxe edition of Nioh 3? No. No, because we don't know what to... I wouldn't pre-order, personally speaking. Because while things look promising to me so far, they look promising for the base game. I have no idea what to expect for the deluxe edition. And I don't feel any sense of urgency towards pre-ordering shit. So I'm of the opinion no. But what I would say for you to determine whether you're going to do that, one, just take a look at all the gameplay and see how much faith you have that the deluxe edition will be worthwhile. It's a lot of money. So, you know, just be careful with your money. And, you know, if you think the product is worth it, buy it. If not, don't bother. But I don't see any urgency in pre-ordering. And totally humble brag, I'm probably getting the game for free anyway. But even if I wasn't getting the game for free, most likely anyway, I'm just not comfortable with the ideas of pre-ordering. I'm only comfortable with it if like I know what to expect. For me, so far, I'd be like, you know, so far based on what I've seen, I think I would pay full price for the base game. Like, this feels pretty fucking complete, assuming it goes on the trajectory I see. But with the deluxe edition, it's another, what, $40? US dollars anyway? I don't know what I'm purchasing. I want to know what I'm purchasing before I throw the money. That's all. So yes, Ninja Schemes, good to see you, by the way. Welcome to the stream. It was nice to speak with you briefly last night as well. So I don't know what. So a question about versatility. What is that? So versatility in Nioh 2 was basically incentivizing you to use different active skills. So every time you use a different active skill, you got a damage buff, and eventually stacked up to 60% extra damage. So players loved that. How are hatchets? Do they feel good even without stances because of ninja style? Too early for me to tell. But what they did add in there, so they added like quite a lot. Let me see if I can get the video up. Here, I'll just play it. Oh, no. I just want to play it one time. Here we go. So I'll just have some hatchet stuff play in the background. But for me, hatchets, like, from what I saw, they look pretty fun. They have a good amount of variety. It could be pretty cool. I remember when I saw this skill, Firefoot Drill, I was like, oh, that's really interesting. You can, like, do some, like, it's just, like, really unique stuff to do with the aerial gameplay, and then you mix that in with the ninjutsu. It could be quite varied. So that's my forecast for things, but how it actually is in contrast to, like, the amount of time that I put into it, like, I can't really say. I don't have, like, a full, like, review of it. This is just impressions rather than, like, a review. Are you able to mix directional inputs alongside with actives on block? I imagine so with custom controls, but I couldn't find out. Is deflecting samurai only? Deflecting, yes, is samurai only, but ninja style can still parry. As you can see here, Tile Shaker. Tile Shaker exists for the hatchets on ninja style. There are many parries that exist for ninja style. They're all there. So deflecting, yes, samurai only, but parries goes for both. Okay. Do you think ninja style alone can be fully playable without need for samurai style and is a standout now? Yeah, I think that's what they're also intending too. You may have seen other footage from very, very reputable big stations that are totally legit and awesome in every way, like IGN. I'm sorry, I had to say that. But you can see a lot of gameplay from other people where they stick to ninja style because that's what they enjoy. So you can stay with ninja style and you'll do just fine. They didn't want Team Ninja specifically says they wanted the players to have the option to go with either one style, or if they want to do both, they can do both. But it doesn't feel like they have to play one. Like, you can play whatever you want. Is there any way to reposition yourself during combat? Because now you can't transform into yokai soul cores and you just throw them. So soul cores can't really help you with positioning, right? Yeah, soul cores really can't. But your guardian spirit skills can. And there are some tools for... Here, let me bring it out. Let me get it up. But there were things for like ninja skills, for example. Where was it? So right, like with ninja style, for example, when using style shift to switch from samurai style to ninja style, successfully performing a burst break will cause you to maneuver behind the enemy. So you have that. And not to mention many of the ninjutsu things that exist, there are some which do allow that repositioning that kind of fulfill the same functions as soul cores. So there was like burrow, which functioned like Waira. Or there was like teleport behind an enemy, you have that, or jump up. A lot of the physical arts that ninja style has satisfy that function. And then if you look at the samurai skills themselves, the samurai martial arts, a lot of them have some crazy like distance shit. It's like ridiculous. So yes, in a nutshell, is there any ability to reposition yourself during combat? Hell yeah. It's just not through soul cores. I have a question. Did you try Tonfa, and how is it compared to Nioh 2? I didn't get to try Tonfa, but what I do have, what I can show you are some of the Tonfa skills. It looks cool, but again, like, I couldn't spend my time on, like, everything. Like, I wanted to learn all this shit, but I, like, couldn't. But here, you can take a look at some of the Tonfa things. So, like, Focus Strike Heavy, look at this shit. Boom! When I saw that, I was like, fucking hell, that looks awesome. Right, they have a lot of new, like, aerial moves. They have, like, it's just unique. Moves like Tiger Bite had their inputs rebound as well. Like, there's just a lot. So it's too hard for me to evaluate that, but it should be, it's looking pretty cool. The master skill book is limited 1 throughout 3 skill list, or 1 master per list? 1 master per list. 1 mastery per list. Can we still Harakiri? No. Hey Yoshimaru, will I be doing a Nioh 3 Academy? Yes. Can you cancel knockback into stance swap? It looked like you did that against the guy with the pistol. I don't think so. I'm not sure. I'd have to test. I'd have to test that out. So yeah, I didn't get to play with Tonfas. I just didn't have the time. Okay. So bear in mind, so by the way, some of you are asking questions, and I made, just to be clear, if you're asking, I'm gonna get to every question that I see. All right, I'm gonna try to answer every single question. So if I haven't gotten to your question, right now I'm running like 15 minutes behind, nearly 20 minutes behind. But all I ask is don't paste the same question multiple times, because then it'll take away time from other people. Just trust I'll get to it. So yeah, I'm trying to answer them as quickly as I can. Hey guys, can character code from Nioh 2 be taken to Nioh 3? I don't know the answer to that, unfortunately. Wind is back, yes. What about Earth? No. Okay, I already answered that. Hoofer, were there any options to enhance the graphics for the Pro? If there were, I, like, didn't investigate that. Oh yeah, by the way, great Scampuss form, in case you guys didn't see. Alright, can be a big old cat. Okay, Being able to move while using Omeo spells looks like a great change. How did you find that? So there is a common skill that I got through just beating the first boss. Boom. Allows you to summon guardian spirits using guardian skills while moving, for example. And there are a bunch of, and there's probably going to be other things. Okay. Did you like dual swords more than in Nioh 2? I didn't get to spend enough time, but so far my impression of them is more positive. Okay. Okay. Will there be different movesets for the same weapon? Example, dual swords from samurai style to ninja style? Yes, there is a difference, but there are some shared abilities as well. So, for example, ninja sword and samurai sword both share Kurama sword dance, but they're just like different. So like ninja style has like Kurama sword wind, or the way that water sword is for dual swords, dual ninja swords is different than on samurai swords. So there is an overlap with some skills, but there are also a lot of unique things as well. Okay. How many maps do I think will be in the final game? No idea. I mean, it's at minimum 4, maybe like 7 is my guess. In my opinion, is the Ninja Dodge too strong in this new demo? Nope. I think it's fine. Saw the IGN preview, heard they put the Ninja Gaiden Swallow attack in the game. Take a look. If you can take a look at the new skills here to get more information about that. And then if you look at the Google Drive link that I shared, you can take a look at all the ninja stuff. So take a look at that when you get the chance. Okay. Do you want more type of Gakis to be in the game? You are also emotionally banned. Get out. Since this game has time travel, what are the odds of getting a crazy setting for the DLC? Cyberpunk Tokyo like in Ninja Gaiden. Hey, the fact that we go into the future means now that might be possible. I don't know. Did you find some cool items we haven't seen before with new stats, for example? No, I didn't look too much into the loot aspects of things, so I can't say. Is there a point to opportunists on Fist now? The deflect is a thing? The selling point of it was parrying anything, so it feels kind of redundant now. That's what I thought too. But they did rework opportunist a little bit, so I do have that in this video. So I guess we'll find out. I don't know. I wanted to evaluate the parries with the dodges, all that stuff, but I just limited time. I got to prioritize certain things. So, okay. Do you think they will do any crossovers or callbacks like how every Nioh and Wolong have added post-launch stuff in the Boons tab? They might. I don't know, to be honest. Rip Omeo builds in Nioh 3. Too early to tell. I don't think they're going to trash that. I think, if anything, they were most likely going to upgrade things, but it's, again, too early to tell. Oh yeah, about upgrading soul cores and guardian spirits. How did you get soul fragments, and how easy were they to come by? I didn't really mess around with that. I imagine it's just you use resting rights on certain things to get soul fragments on whatever excess soul cores you have, and then you just can upgrade your shit from there. That's not something I was able to test, unfortunately. So how do you get Sukuna Soul Core? It was just put in there by default. They gave me Hino Enma and Ryomen Sukuna just like from the get-go. They're just prepackaged, which was cool. Do I think Ninetales Fox will return? Don't know. Would be cool. Okay, not a question for me. How does Onmyo work in this game? So Miss Gamer Creed. Oh wow, I'm still struggling time wise. How does Onmyo work in this game? So you get soul cores, and then you can decide whether to use them as summons to attack alongside you, or you can turn them into jutsu for you. So that's how it works at this time. So it's like a yin and yang system. So that's what I can tell you just right off the bat. With art proficiency in the game, does Cestus still allows you to use back-to-back martial arts even without the proficiency active? Yes. You still have Unbroken. It's fists. Cestus's work just like as they did in Nioh 2 with the fists. Yeah, you can do Unbroken. It's part of a thing. So Unbroken with arts proficiency is totally a thing now. And yeah, have fun with it. Did I get to play with hatchets? Yes, I did play with hatchets in the demo, but I didn't get to like fully go into it. I did obviously look at all the skills, but there was a point where I kind of just got overwhelmed and I was just like, dude, I can't process this shit. But I did play with hatchets, and they were pretty fun. I enjoyed with especially with skills like roundabout, which was throw a hatchet and then like follow up and melee hit with it. So it was pretty cool. Okay, let's see. Where am I now? Wow, no move where you spin them above your head like a helicopter and fly around. Repurchase canceled. Very funny. What weapons did you spend the most time with, and how do you feel about them currently? I spent the most time with swords, dual swords for samurai style, and then Kusarigama hatchets. So far, so good. Um, that's really about it. In terms of any super details, I cannot say because I just like don't know. Okay, what's going on here? But yeah, so far so good. I liked what I played. Oh my gosh, am I actually almost caught up? Really? Okay, good. Ozymandias, why? Why you gotta call me that? How is it meeting the Great Distortion 2 and others? I heard he glows from up close. Very funny. It was nice meeting them. I had a good time with like fighting Cowboy. Like him and I chatted a lot when we were on our drive to the Mexican restaurant. He's like such a bro. I didn't speak too much to Distortion because I didn't speak to him too much. I spoke to Miss 5000 Watts a little bit, but most of the time I just chatted up with Fighting Cowboy. Like, I spent most of my time just like hanging out with him. So it was pretty cool. But yeah, a lot of content creators. It was interesting meeting different people and talking to people and really just understanding who these content creators are as human beings, and it just reminds me once again that like, sure, we put out a lot of content and whatnot, but we're all just human beings and we're doing the best that we can. All of them were nice. So yeah, like good times. So check them out. Yeah, maybe I'll like them. Do dual swords have more variety now? I would say yeah, but if you want to see for yourself, take a look at the new skills in this video. And then there's a bunch of screenshots that I have shared in the Google Drive. So, for example, with dual swords, they changed some inputs. So, like, here's some new moves: deflecting cut, earth render. Um, what else? Twin dragons is really cool. And then yeah, then they like gave some like elemental like buff of some sort. So it's pretty cool. I think you ought to check it out, and then you can decide for yourself if you think it's adequate for you. Okay, okay. I just joined. Sorry if you already answered, but can you explain how the open world works? Me and my dad played Nioh 2 for so long, we were thinking they got rid of the co-op aspect. Fortunately, they did not. Co-op is there. You can co-op in the entirety of like the open field stuff. So here's how it generally works. So the way that I think about it going from Nioh 2 to Nioh 3 is like they took the main missions and side missions of Nioh 2 and then just smashed them all together in one big map, more or less. You do have like your dedicated areas that are like super intense missions called the Crucibles, but for the most part, it's like a nice mashup. You can still co-op. You can co-op either the big open field areas and just freely explore with your friends or your father in this case, or you can pick like the missions together and like just do those Crucible missions. So it's still there. Is there Omeo magic? Yes. How does Omeo magic work in this game? So I think I answered your question a little earlier, but it's basically you getting your soul cores and then assigning whether you want to summon them or to use them as Omeo magic. Hoover, did they remove the proficiency of weapons to gain skill points completely? It seems to be the case, yes. All right, looks like I've answered that question about how does Omeo work. Is that a Nioh 3 t-shirt you're wearing today? Yes. Very, very, very much so. Very much so, yes. And then I got a Nioh 3 hoodie as well. Okay. Did I get any scrolls? No, I didn't get any scrolls like Nioh 2, but that might come later. Who knows? Okay. Okay, let's see. What have I missed? How do you replenish stamina ninja stance? Thanks, pal. Yeah, you got it. So basically, you either just kind of wait, which is one thing. Another thing you can do as well is if you dodge, you will get some ki back. And don't forget, you have your ninjutsu where while you're using that, you will regenerate ki. Or you can use a guardian spirit skill to regenerate ki during its animation time as well. So yeah, you may not be able to get ki back. Actually, hold on. Hold on. I lied. You can get your ki back a little bit. Where was it? Come on. Here you go. With your talons, recovers a small amount of ki after successfully activating Mist. If you really want. Here you go. But for the most part, you have to use a lot of the ninja. There are certain ways in ninja style you can get your ki back. This is kind of the exception to the rule. Okay. Can we still customize skills like putting different arcanas on them like in Nioh 2? Doesn't seem to be the case at this time. Maybe we'll get extra variety so it isn't just like one thing to one skill, but we have yet to see. How's the animation canceling on the burst counters? Can I throw them out mid-combo like in Nioh 2? I mean, burst counters is just effectively style shift, so I mean, you can. They're not like super crazy from what I understand, like they were in Nioh 2, but they're a little different. Are Tonfas still in Nioh 3? Yeah, Tonfas are right here. Oh yeah, Tonfas are here. So they're in ninja style. So hope you enjoy that. Do Kusarigama, Tonfa, and Hatchets have all their skills from Nioh 2, or are there any that are missing? So far it seems like they have everything, or that they will have everything. I didn't, like, if there's something that's missing, I didn't notice, because there's just like a bajillion other things they added. How are the ranged weapons? Is it any different, or is there... oh gosh, can my chat thing be nice? Okay. How are the ranged weapons? Is it any different, or is there something new? So far, it seems to be exactly the same. Don't know if things will change. Hi guys, I just got here. Any new information about the Scampuss? Oh my gosh, yeah. Yeah, of course. Assuming I can... Oh. Can I get my... What the hell is going on? No, I do not want an ad on my own fucking video. You want some Scampuss information? You're about to get some. Wait. Wasn't ready. What the hell? Wait. Where? Oh, it's earlier. I'm an idiot. Yeah, look. Great Scampuss form. Let's go. Pufferpuss form, turn into a Scampuss, and then the great Scampuss form. Let's go. So yeah, good times. Okay. All right, a question. Fighting Cowboy looked pretty caked up. Yeah, he's pretty buff. He works out quite a bit. Did you see if there was an option for keeping your gear the look? Oh, in between Samurai and Ninja? I didn't get to look at that. Any of those like nuanced loot things, I can't say. Like, I just don't know. Do I think Living Artifact is too OP? Nope. I think it's fine. I think it's supposed to be powerful. It's like... I think it's fine. If it's really too OP, the Team Ninja will nerf it. Are you kidding me? Alright, so... Does Ninja Style have more stances or more skill slots than before? Why don't I just show you? So for example, if you want to see skill customization, you can kind of see that there's like a couple inputs here and a couple inputs for that there. I think a good example that really showcases just how much variety there is, despite the fact that there isn't the most stuff stance-wise, is like Kusarigama. It's like a bunch of different inputs and then some mid-air inputs. And let's not forget, mid-air is basically like another stance. That's the way that I think about it. It's another stance, and there's an extra degree of complexity because guardian spirits can do unique things in the air. And you can use your ninjutsu in the air as well. So, yeah, it's this for a stance, ninja style. If we're just considering, I mean, if you're just considering this a stance, this is probably the most robust stance in the game. Just my opinion. Okay, will I be playing on PC or PS5 Pro at launch? I'll be most likely playing with my PS5 Slim. I don't have a Pro. Are Feral, Phantom, and Brute burst counters in the game in some form? You like the Feral dodge a lot? I think that's going to depend on the Guardian Spirit skills we see, but there are a variety of different types. So I think the answer to that question is basically yes. So yeah, should be pretty spicy. Like I remember there was one Guardian Spirit skill where I was like, it was like a Kusarigama pull, and I just like pulled myself to the character, or like I shot a projectile. So it was pretty cool. So I think the answer is yes. Is lightning grease there? Yes, grease lightning is here. Let me bring it out just to show you. Here you go. So Storm Strike Shadow, Grease Lightning Lightning. Yep, right here. Cowboy said the hatches were simplified compared to Nioh 2. Is that true? I didn't mess around enough with the hatchets, but I didn't really mess around enough with the weapons at large. There was just so many different things I was trying to evaluate, but it felt fun. I'm not really worried about too much complexity issues or a lack of complexity when it comes to ninja style, because there's a whole dimension of aerial gameplay that I haven't really accounted for, and that's just going to introduce many other variables of complexity. Does a weapon get different unique skills on each style? Yeah. So, for example, like dual ninja swords here are very different from dual samurai swords. There is some shared skills, but there is a lot about each weapon that's pretty unique. So if I like go to dual, like, let me put it this way. The amount of time I put per section is basically new skills. So dual ninja swords, here are all the new things that are like pretty much unique to it. Alright, you got like your own counter. You have like spinning gale, which is different than winter wind. You got coiled spring. You can stab with both swords. Right, you have like a bunch of different moves and whatnot. So these are all things unique to dual ninja swords that like we haven't seen before. And bear in mind, I skip over things like spinning drill and abscission because they've been introduced in the demos prior. So this is like, oh, this is the stuff that I recognize as brand new. So this isn't every skill that I'm showing in this video, it's new stuff. So, right. So that's a big aspect of it. Will we have Tesla Soul Core? I don't know. Maybe we will. Probably. Don't know if you tried Ninja Sword or not, but as I've seen it, it feels... hold on. It feels more like an agility weapon and not mainly for damaging highly, or it's not like that. So if you're attacking head-on with ninja style, you're at a disadvantage compared to samurai style. So you want to attack an enemy from behind. Ninja style is more about speed and, you know, evading and hitting your enemy to do critical damage. You have to play differently than you would with samurai style. It's too early for me to tell, like, the exact specifics about damage, though. Okay, question. Does Nioh 3 deserve its high price tag on launch day with what you played so far? For the base game, I'm more leaning towards yes, but Deluxe Edition, it's like, well, I don't have enough information to make that conclusion, so no. Did I manage to steal a Scampuss, by the way? No. Sorry if you've already answered this. Did you get to play with the different controls? How was the Nioh 2 controls? I did play with the different controls, specifically the Nioh 2 ones, and it just... It was pretty natural, all things considered. Okay, I think I've reasonably caught up now. Holy shit. How much does this game incentivize you to use aerial combat? I think a good amount, because there's a lot of abilities that enemies do that you can just straight up avoid by being in the air. I was rather surprised what I could avoid just by jumping at the right time, or by air dodging. It was like different. It activated my neurons is all I can say. And some of the guardian spirit skills do have like an aerial component. Like the one that I was using, I think it was either Kurama Tengu. I think it was Kurama Tengu. Can't remember. Or it was O, I think. But either way, like I could just keep using the guardian spirit skill in the air and just like keep like flying and then keep shooting a projectile and like never hit the ground. I was like, all right, that's kind of cool. So it was pretty rad. How was the performance compared to the playable alpha? For me, the alpha didn't run as well as this. This demo, when I was playing it, it was pretty much just streamlined. Like, I didn't notice any performance issues. That's what I can say. I wasn't like on the lookout for a lot of it. Like if a performance issue happened to me, then I'd be like, hey, that's a problem. But for the most part, like I just got to play the game and just focus on absorbing the game and all that it provides, rather than like being scared shitless about like, oh no, game's gonna crash or some bug here or something to like remove my sense of immersion. So it worked pretty well. In Nioh 2, the 3 yokai forms gave 3 ways to counter red burst attacks. In Nioh 3, there's only one way to counter red burst attacks? No. You do have Style Shift, which works all the time and is at no cost to you. But you also have your Guardian Spirit skills. And the Guardian Spirit skills are all fairly unique. So the timing for all of them is very different. So like, some are ranged projectiles, which I can use to interrupt a ranged burst attack. Some are much more melee. So like, in terms of timing, it kind of just depends on what you're using. But you absolutely have like the equivalent of like, oh, I have like Ippon Datara or Shinroku, which functions like Ippon in a way, which is like a stomp. Or I use like projectiles and like I shut it down at range, which was kind of neat. Or like I had like a Kazarigama pull one. I was like, this is a lot of variance. So it's a lot to consider. So I think if anything, it's not just 3 ways, we have countless ways, and it just depends on what you are using. Okay, it looks like questions are being answered. Poof, this is a very important question. Is reverse impact going to be a normal skill? Yes, it was a normal skill. I got to use it in the demo. I didn't have to unlock it. It's just reverse impact, here you go. It wasn't a secret skill. I bet both styles will have parry. Both do have parry. Both styles have their own parry abilities. Yes, Samurai does have deflect and Ninja has its dodge. Yeah, that's right. Any clue if William Nioh will appear in the game? Not at this time, don't know. Are the directional inputs gone? I'm seeing L1 plus button in the screenshots. No. I just customized my controls so that I could play it like I played Nioh 2. If you want the directional inputs, you can still have them by just customizing them. It's an option. Everyone who has tested the same demo as you seems to absolutely love the game. Yeah, we've enjoyed it. I don't think there's a single person that disliked it. We might have like minor nitpicks over it, but like, I'm overall like content. I'm overall content. I'm pretty happy with it. Like, I'm past the point of having to nitpick minor shit. I'm just like, yeah, it seems fun, and I'm excited to learn more, and I want to play more. Okay. So does that bar that replaced the anima bar act the same? Yes, it's the anima has been replaced with Spirit Force, but functionally it's the same. So you use your Spirit Force for your Guardian Spirit skills in the same way you would use anima to use yokai abilities. It's pretty much the same. The living artifact stuff is independent, just like Yokai Shift was. Yeah, Lana, I hope they do. It would be nice if they added a 3rd Guardian Spirit skill. But if they didn't, I'd be like, well, oh well, I'm not gonna lose any sleep over it. Do you think there will be more invites to their office to try out more of the game? I mean, it needs more. They didn't give you enough time. I hope so. I don't know. I don't know if that's the case. They haven't invited me to anything. At this point, I literally, like, I'm not hiding anything from anyone at this point in time. Don't expect you to believe me on that. But, yeah, I hope they will, which would be nice. Right, I understand the PC optimization thing, which is something I think in an interview with RPG Site that the director Yasuda is just like, yeah, they're on that. So yeah, many people are worried about PC optimization, but it seems like they're working on that. Are the parry window frames still the same? Yeah, they seem to be identical compared to what they were in Nioh 2. I just joined. Did you answer everything about Cestus having opportunities as a normal deflected as a follow-up? So, let me see. Let me bring it up. So right, so Opportunist has been given a little bit of a rework. Right, if you just take a look here, you'll see it's changed ever so slightly. It looks to be slightly different, just like a slight reposition. It's so I don't, and even a different input altogether. So you can deflect or do Opportunist. So based on that, I don't know how things are going to pan out. My guess is that deflect is basically purely defensive, which is great. But then all these parries are like, hey, they provide an offensive opportunity. Hence Opportunist. That's my guess. I don't know. But I didn't really get to test these things out and I really wanted to, but like in between trying to evaluate all the things, I just couldn't. But I imagine the parries are going to be like, here's some offensive payoff that they give. Right. It could be also they build up arts proficiency more. It's too early to tell. Again, 2 hours of gameplay is not enough for me to evaluate all these things, unfortunately. But we'll find out. Do secret skills have a more direct way of getting them, like completing challenges or beating bosses, or still RNG? There is a more direct way of getting them. So, for example, Fracture Full Lightning, I guess unlocked the martial arts guide. I think that's Chichiko. I think that's what it is. Or, let's see. So it's like, hey, you'll find a Chichiko. You can get a skill. I guess in order to unlock the ability to do a skill, you got to do your dojo missions. Let's see if I can. There's probably one. All right, stuff like crucible weapons, you can get it. Let's see. Okay, so Chichiko are one option. Come on. Available after learning low stance. Let's see if I can find one where it's like beat a boss. It'll say like beat a specific boss, then you get it or some shit. I just need to show one. I've seen one where it's like beat a boss, then you get it. Kind of wild. We're not seeing the Chichiko ones, or only the Chichiko ones. But I don't think it's going to be as random as before. So it's like Crucible stuff. You fight like Dojo Masters or something. I've seen where it's like fight Yasuke Sawamura. Like, let me see if I can get those out. Come on. Crucible weapons. In other words, I'm not able to find it right now. I'll try. Let me try to get one. Okay. Come on. Crucible weapon. Like, I don't know what the skill Soul Devour is. Tornado Edge. Maybe will it be for sword? Come on, here you go. Like for example, reverse impact. So like you learn this by defeating a guy, for example. So it's not like RNG. It's like, oh, you just do something and you get it. It's more in your control. Okay. How good of a ninja is Master? Yo, he's as ninja as it gets. He's as ninja as it gets, Axel. Okay. Let's see. Other questions? I think I caught up. Oh my god. So which style will get split staff and which one will get split glaive? You know what? Not as a guess. Let's answer it. Right the fuck now. Ninja style gets split staff right here. Here you go. Split staff. And then samurai style gets switch glaive. It is now official. Here you go. All the weapons are officially confirmed. 7 weapons for each style. So here you go. What's a crucible weapon? Crucible weapons are just like they're just like stronger weapons. They do more damage, but the penalty is if you take damage, you lose some maximum life temporarily. So yeah. And at the same time, when you max their familiarity, you unlock a new skill. The Nioh 3 drought is over finally. Yeah, I would say so. I mean, if you want to check out all the content, take a look at this playlist, which is on my channel now. I'm going to be releasing these. Like, I should actually release this. Let me do that right now. I'm a bit late. Are there any new weapons? Here, take a look. Okay, I made the new skills. So for samurai style, we have swords, dual swords, spears, axes, odachi, switchglaives, and cestices. For ninja style, we have ninja swords, dual ninja swords, kusarigama, tonfa, hatchets, split staves, or split staff, whatever, and talons. So there you go, your 14 weapons. So yeah, should be a lot of fun. Can you parry spells like in Wolong? Yeah, absolutely. You can deflect or you can dodge. So deflect with samurai style or dodge with ninja style. So yeah, you're in good shape. I hope they add romance options, preferably human and a yokai. I have concerns over this type of thinking. I'm pretty surprised, or I'm surprised split staff is a ninja weapon. It was slow in Nioh 2. Right, which means how are they going to do things for Nioh 3? Ooh. Right, it could go like lunar staff style. It could be a lot of fun. You just checked the Nioh Dachi stuff from the screenshots you have uploaded. I'm amazed. I'm glad. And I just made this particular video public. It was no, I don't want to see this dumbass ad. So I just made, so this video was unlisted prior, but yeah, you can check out a lot of the fun odachi things. I'll just play those in the background. So enjoy. So you have like a follow-up to, yeah, you can just check it out. So I have the screenshots, but I also have this video. So it should be a lot of fun. I thought Severing Blade was pretty cool. Ground Sweeper reminded me of like Rise of the Ronin. So it was like kind of cool. Okay. So let's see, where am I at now? Are swords and ninja swords a different category? Yes, or they are different. They are different for sure. I thought the enemy camps were a bit undercooked in the alpha, not much of a flow to them. Do you feel they've improved? If you take a look at that video where I do with the select gameplay clips, where I do like an enemy base, it kind of got chaotic. Like I had to, it was quite a challenge, but it was a good challenge. So I think so. Are talons and cestises different enough? Maybe I just show you. Here you go. Here's some cestus things. You can see like the list over here. The cestises feel like the fists from Nioh 2. I didn't like, they did add like a couple of new things like Heavenly Strike combos, which is like basically Shoryuken. So that was kind of neat as well. So yeah, I'll play this and whatnot. Like, it was like, Shoryuken! I remember I'm like, yo, for real. That's pretty cool. So yeah, that was pretty cool. I think, is that almost it? But yeah, this looked pretty familiar. A couple of the inputs were changed and whatnot, but I was like, yeah, this kind of reminds me of things things I'm kind of familiar with for a fist with Nioh 2. But now, of course, you want to see talons, right? So let's just show you, what are talons like? You can observe the differences yourself. Or there's shit like Beyond Infinity Fire. Just cloak your weapons in flames and then just use all your ki. And bear in mind, I didn't show everything, I just showed the newest things. Alright, so, you know, you get to see stuff like that. To me, I would say, yeah, there was quite a bit of a difference. Okay, any reflection options like Gust Arrowproof? There was Gust and Arrowproof, I believe. I saw Gust. I think Gust, you get it from the Chichikos. You can turn, once you get their Soul Core, you can equip them as Onmyo Magic, and then you got Gust. Yeah. Nuriona or Flying Bolt? Neither. If you watch ads on your own video, does that give you money? Barely. Appreciate that. But I was asking if they introduced any weapons that weren't in Nioh 2. Suppose there isn't much else they could add, though. So here's what they did. They took the 11 weapons from Nioh 2 and then divided them up in the styles. Now, the ones that are like kind of the newest are Ninja Sword, Dual Ninja Swords, and Talons. On the surface, yeah, it's like, oh, single sword. But in practice, they feel very, very different in terms of playing things. So to me, functionally speaking, the ninja style stuff is basically new. But in terms of like completely brand new in every fucking conceivable way, no, they don't have that. That might be DLC things where they add like a unique samurai weapon or a unique ninja style weapon. Who knows? But even if there aren't new weapons altogether, there's a lot of new shit for all this stuff. Like so much of this is new. You can say, yeah, Beyond Infinity. Yep, it's shared, it's the same. Izuna Drop is not. Opportunist also exists for this, which is interesting. You know, there's that overlap, but there's a lot of other new shit, which I'm happy about. So, yeah. Fighting Cowboy mentioned living artifacts seem too strong now. I mean, maybe it is. I thought it was fine. But truth be told, like, these are things that I think when I evaluate stuff about the game, I'm not going to focus on a lot of these little details because those are things I think could be patched. Whereas I'm looking at like big picture ideas, big general game philosophy things. Philosophically, this game's great. So I'm fine with it. I'm like, yeah, living artifacts should be powerful. How powerful is something that can be adjusted. All right, have a good night, Lana. So there's that. Let's see. Also, bear in mind, this is also base game difficulty. So with things being at base game, yeah, of course things are gonna feel super powerful, dude. That's how it was. You try Yokai Shift in Nioh 2 on Dream of the Samurai? Yeah, I'm pretty sure you wiped the floor with everything. You've just wiped everything out. Really like crazy. That's just what it did. If you knew how to use it, and then yeah, things just fucking died. That's how it works. But on like the difficulty that I enjoyed, which was like Dream of the Neo, you have to kind of work for it. It's not like easy peasy. So again, base game difficulty is something to keep in mind when you're evaluating like the scaling of this stuff. I'm like, I think it's reasonably appropriate. Okay. So Axel, your question is, so if you pick up a sword, it's either a ninja sword or samurai sword? Correct. It's one or the other. It's not both as far as I know. Can't use the same one on either style. No, they are style-specific weapons. Axe has a key pulse attack now. Did you see that right? Yes. Yes, you did. Let's see if I can... Is it earlier? Yeah, Victory Rush. Victory Rush, yes. Boosh. Step forward, ram into the enemy. We got some forward motion on this shit. That's pretty awesome. Okay. Does Beyond Infinity still require good timing? Yeah. Except it seems like for Talons, there is a little bit of an exception. With Beyond Infinity Fire, it doesn't seem like you need the timing. It just seems like you hit the button and then it just does everything for you. That's what it seems like. It's just, nope, ninja style, you want Beyond Infinity Fire, push button, do all the attacks. Good luck. You use all your ki, but you use all of your ki. All of it. So, be careful, I guess. Don't have to time it, but use all your ki, and you have longer recovery frames. Careful. Don't want to use that at the right time, at the wrong time and get ruined. Is there a hey, what's up, Fiendbusa? Is there a Hayabusa fit? There's a Zuna drop, but in terms of Hayabusa stuff, I didn't notice any. How many hours long do you think the game will be? Shit, it's looking like it's gonna be a lot. I mean, I think that answer is a little subjective, truth be told. Because someone like myself will spend 40 hours on an alpha demo, when most people will spend like 3 to 5 or maybe like 9 tops. And then for this, I was like, oh my gosh, with all the weapon stuff and everything I want to learn, like at least 100. But yeah, it's looking like it's going to be pretty packed, all things considered. So yeah, I see a lot of, like, let me put it this way. I am still playing Ninja Gaiden 4 well after 150 hours. And I'm still enjoying it, so, you know, it's to each their own, but probably a lot. I don't know, 40 hours at least, I'm guessing. Does the game run at 120 FPS? I can't say because that's not something I investigated. I imagine it will, though. Okay, I think I finally caught up. I think I can relax. I think I'm safe now. I think I'm good. The alpha had 120 FPS? Okay, then I'm sure the main game will as well. How many people can you co-op with? 2 other friends. You can do 3-player co-op in total. Oh, I missed a question. Does versatility buff stack between styles? I believe it does. I didn't test that out mindfully. But given that it's a common thing, let me see. So let's see. It's a common skill, right? Given that versatility is common, it's probably just you need skill. I don't see why not. I'm pretty sure it will stack in between that. So yeah, have fun. You can get your versatility stacks in between samurai and ninja style and you're in good shape. Okay. Let me see if I missed anything. Living artifact being cloaked in elements, 2 difficulties down the line against an elementally resistant boss. It's not going to be a blunder, right? And these bosses have like dual element properties to them. So the boss from the, what was it, Noribotoke? He has like fire and lightning built into him. I was like, what the shit? Okay. This is pretty surprising. Or Takeda Shingen has fire and wind. So there's like resistant to 2 different elements. For example. So like I got lucky with water and wind, but yeah, like it was, even on base game difficulty, it still was a reasonable challenge. And again, it's base game difficulty. I like get slightly irked when I see people saying like, "Oh my gosh, the game's too easy." I'm like, "Bro, this is base game difficulty. It's gonna be on the simple side." But even then, people will still struggle. So like, yeah, just be a little mindful of what exactly it is we're seeing. And, you know, I understand that some people are not for various reasons or just may not be aware. It's just, you know, try to understand what you're looking at before dismissing it. That's all I ask. All right, so let's see. Next up is, what were your favorite bosses in this demo? If there are any you liked better than the rest, of course. So I didn't get to fight too many of the bosses. I think I only fought like the ones that I fought here are the only ones I fought. So I did not get to fight Takeda Shingen or Great Tengu, unfortunately. So I didn't really get to evaluate them quite a lot because, for example, Takasugi Shinsaku was overall like, due to scaling things and me being over leveled, he didn't hit as hard, but he seemed kind of cool with like his gunplay. It was just like a different fight, a different human fight I didn't expect, and it was just kind of cool. And Nenra felt pretty much the same, so it wasn't, I mean, there were some like differences here and there, but you know, and Nenra wasn't as memorable as, say, me fighting Raiju. Raiju was cool. Noribotoke is kind of the same way. I think for me, the favorite bosses it wasn't so much a matter of favorite as much as like, hey, there's a lot of novelty involved here, and I'm just very curious to like understand these enemies even further. So it was fun. I think basically what I'm trying to say is I went past the threshold of like a boss needs to be this good before like I'm satisfied. I'm like, okay, they've surpassed that. They're enjoyable. I'm cool with it. So I was pretty happy with it. I was happy with the idea of the bosses. I think they're all cool and they're fun, and that's really all I was looking for. I can tweak things a bit later. And when I'm fighting bosses, I'm looking for like some unique experience that's enjoyable, and they all had that to a certain degree. So that was cool. It was fun. Can you play against bosses like Ronin if you like parrying? Yeah, you can just like deflect everything, and you can parry a lot of things. You can deflect all the yokai. I saw Ubume had an ice buff in some of the footage, guessing that's the new pink and red and purple enemies. This wasn't a Crucible Wraith. I think it was just like a brand new enemy altogether. So here.
Beef dreams to
no,
be
no,
slow
I do not
roasted
need
by
to.
Arby's,
I'm not advertising
tossed in
Arby's.
hickory.
Get the hell out of here. No, I do not want Arby's. Stop. No, fuck Fortnite. At least advertise Ninja Gaiden 4. Okay, so for example, this is just like an enemy I like walked. I didn't expect at all. It's not a Crucible Raid, right? See, it was just like a normal enemy. It wasn't, I was like, is this like Suiki? No, it's just like Ubume with like some ice stuff. And it was different. And I just like, I had to kind of get used to. So they do have the Crucible rates as well, but this was like brand new. Yeah, it was like an Ubume variant. How many bosses are in Nioh 3? I have no idea, but it's looking like a shit ton because there's a Hino Enma Soul Core, there's a Ryomen Sukuna Soul Core, we've already seen Onryoki, we've seen Mizuki. They're bringing back quite a lot while they're adding a lot of new things too. Yeah, reskinned Ubume, I guess. It could be like Ubume's mom. Or something. I don't know. Okay. Probably been asked, but is there Underworld? I don't really know. I mean, they have the Crucible. But in terms of like that end game content, I don't think we can expect to see that until the DLC. Okay. Did I miss anything? Okay. Yeah, they brought Hino Enma is in the game. At least as a soul core. Do you know if the obtainable skills are luck based? Like how certain weapon skills in 2 are something you gotta farm hours for and if unlucky? Fortunately, so far it doesn't seem to be the case. We have Crucible weapons where we can specifically unlock skills. You can beat certain enemies to get skills as well. And it was just like first try. So, yeah, or Chichiko's will give you something. It seems like it's a lot more in our control rather than it just being like terrible RNG. That's my impression so far. But again, it's like I can only evaluate so much based off of like 2-3 hours of footage. But so far, so good. It's pretty much felt like there's something new to collect like around every corner, fighting every boss. So it's like when I fought Raiju, I got Twin Dragon's Water. Found Chichiko, got like Fracture Foe Lightning. It was like I fight a Nenra, then I get Beyond Infinity Fire. And I was like, oh fucking K, alright. I was like, that's pretty cool. Yeah, it's just like something new pretty much around the corner. You want to fight Yatsuno Kami? No Gaki final boss, get out of here. What's the enemy variety like? So far it seems like kind of a mix of like almost like I want to say half and half. Where it's like half old, half like something new. In terms of like the proportions though, I can't say, but I will say that like they're bringing let me put it this way. They're bringing back DLC enemies from Nioh 3, which like ruined people's lives, and just like, here you go, base game enemies. I'm like, what the fuck you guys doing? Itsumare, which was like the bane of everyone's existence in Nioh 2. Alright, like, don't even lie. Itsumare like ruined you. Okay? Itsumare is like, hey, base game, have fun. They like threw him in the crucible, bro. It took me like 2 minutes to kill him, and then it wasn't just Itsumare by itself. There's just like a jailer Oni needle type who's just like shooting projectiles at me the entire time. I'm like, fucking seriously? So Team Ninja ain't pulling any punches. Itsumare is like a boss. Now he's just in the game. So have fun. Base game experience. Get fucked. Yeah, Itsumare, because not enough people got to him for him to be the newbie filter he deserved to be. Yeah, he's like totally a filter enemy. Alright. They put him in the demo of Nioh 3. Alright. If this is base game experience, imagine what it's gonna be when the DLC comes out, or towards the later portions of this game. How fucking cracked is it gonna get, bro? I'm scared, and I'm excited, but I'm like, oh shit. What are we doing? We're fucked. All right, Yasha, the big threatening enemy. All right, big threatening enemy. Just like, here you go, have fun with Yasha. I'm like, shit, bro. All right. Yeah, I got Yasha. And then they brought in Blood Edge Demon. Oh my god. Seriously. There's like, yeah, there's Magatsu Warrior. And then there's fucking Blood Edge Demon. We are getting cooked. Okay. So I think, yeah, sure, they're bringing back old enemies. But to me, anyway, with my stuff, I'm like, yeah, that's fine. There's a whole like Nioh universe with actual yokai. Like, of course, they're going to like keep existing. And it's okay, they rework them. Or upgrade them in some way. I just don't want them to be exactly the same, and so far they haven't been. Even like their basic ass spear skeletons, okay? The basic spear skeletons. Because it wasn't bad enough they can just like come up behind you and stab you and you fucking die. You know what? They can throw their spear at you. They can throw their spear at you. Because fuck you. I'm like, get on. I'm like, Team Ninja, fuck off. Ranged spear skeletons. So, yeah. Pretty wild. Right, so they've upgraded a lot of those existing enemies, like the one-eyed Oni and whatnot, and just added a little variety so that even if you are already familiar with them from past games, they still feel different. Yeah, they gave the spear skeletons the God of War Ragnarok spear. He just chucks it and gets a fucking new one. Okay. So yeah, like they brought back Konaki Gigi as I show in this last clip. You know, it's like a little pleasant surprise.
Time with intention.
What is this?
Vision.
No, this isn't video game related. I don't care about you, Jessica Alba. You're retired. Go. Is Yuki on the game? Maybe. Also, so yeah, like, one thing I mentioned, I remember I got a comment about like, oh hey, the damage for the hatchets looks weak. It's like, well, if that's the case, it's because I wasn't prioritizing my gear. I think I looked back to my footage, I'm like, wait a minute, I picked something that has like half the power. Like, what am I doing? It's like, oh, sword has 900 attack. My hatchets have like 500 or 700. I'm like, that's pretty impactful, bro. Or some shit. So cool that I could deflect. Oh, I didn't cancel that. Yeah. Oda Nobunaga basic enemy, and you'll run into basic ones of them. Yeah, sure. Alright, so let's see if there are people that ask questions that I kind of just glossed over. Hey Mitch, I'm doing well. How are you? Yeah, Konaki Gigi this early. Itsumare this early. Yasha this early. Those are like serious enemies to fight. Very serious enemies. They're all difficult, relatively speaking. And then even older enemies have been upgraded. So there's a lot. Okay. I think I'm caught up. I think I'm okay. Do you think zero key combos have been nerfed or made less effective in Nioh 3? I think so. I think they're trying to streamline it so that enemies can't basically just get destroyed without much effort. Team Ninja seems to basically want the player to, and my impression anyway, is that they want you to earn what? Earn your victory. So, yeah. I think that's what they're going for, that your victory is earned. So even against human enemies, you get some time to punish them, but then you have to work to get them out of key. So I don't think... So it's like when they're out of... So when you're out of... So when enemies are out of key, you get a time to punish them. And then you can grapple them, and then it resets for human enemies. Thank you, Tamerspoon. I appreciate it. What about my boy Dweller? I haven't seen it. I've seen like kind of those weird like human spirits that kind of remind me of Dwellers, but I haven't seen the Dwellers yet. I'm sure they'll be back. Did I clear any Crucible area? Yes, so this Crucible here I did clear. So here, I'll show the relevant boss fight.
If you're into computers, but
no, I'm not interested in a tech career. CBT Nuggets, what the fuck? So this is the Crucible boss fight. Right, and then after this, the demo ends, so then, like, I couldn't explore stuff. I had to, like, leave. So here, I'll just play this fight. So okay, that was the Crucible fight. So after this, I cleared it, and then the demo kind of ended. I didn't get to re-explore or whatnot, so I can't really like. I wish I could give you more of a detailed answer about like what it gets cleared after the fact, but I just like couldn't, unfortunately. Would have been cool. So the unfortunate answer is I don't know. But yes, I did clear this whole area, or at least the boss. Is there any chance we're gonna have a beta demo? I don't know. I hope we will, but to me it's looking like they might not. Any changes to loots and gear? If there are, I was not able to tell. So Autumn Red, I think what will happen is that once you clear the area, they'll be populated with a lot of stuff, but I think it's just for the demo purposes, it's just to fight the boss. Because in the alpha, once we did clear the Hamamatsu Katsu Crucible, there already were things like, you know, you had your main hub, you could, I think Honda Tadakatsu was at like the top, so it was pretty cool. So for humans, is it the same punishment, 0 stamina punishment? I think so, where it's like you get a little bit of time to attack them, and then you can stab them. Is that a new waifu? Yes, I guess so. Himiko is played by the actress who was, yeah, in Alice in Borderland. Perfect. Will the demo you played perhaps be available as a public one? I don't know, but I would want that to be the case. I would want this to be the open beta or something for you guys to play and to determine like, hey, we like this shit. But maybe the reason they didn't go open beta with it fully is because they're still missing Switchglaive and Split Staff on it. So that could be a big facet of it. They don't want to release something else. They want to have like, hey, here's a complete thing for the open beta with everything we want you guys to give us some feedback on. So please, good stuff. So I think just because this isn't a complete demo, they weren't comfortable publishing it, which I think is fair. I just wish... I'm sure they had their reasons why they couldn't get it to this point. Maybe they just were overworked or something. But yeah, it would have been nice to have had like that open beta type thing where they give us something. Who knows? Or maybe they're just that confident. I don't know what's going on, but you know, I just hope that whoever's working on this stuff is getting well paid and well relaxed and able to do the job they do best and are happy. Don't want them to be overworked and stressed, you know? So Nuri Botoke and Yatsubaba or Jakotsubaba have the same theme song. Seems to be the case, but again, let's just wait and see what occurs when it comes to the original soundtrack. Maybe they're holding off on it. I don't know. Do I think Nioh 3 is the ultimate Nioh experience? So far, it's looking to go in that direction, but to make that claim right now, I wouldn't. I would just say, hey, it looks like it's on that track, but hey, I guess we'll see. Ars proficiency are activated the same way as they were in the alpha? Yes. What the fuck is that? This was the boss of the Crucible, Nuri Botoke. You can check it out on the playlist. Yeah, Nekomata is back for a third time. He's our boy. Do we have the option to have our health key bar put back in the top left corner of the screen and have boss HP at the bottom? I don't know because it's not one of those things I looked for, unfortunately. So, yeah, I don't have an answer for that, sadly. There was just too many other things to get information on that was like one of those details that if I had extra time, I would try to get it, but not a priority for me. Feel like the bosses might stun too quickly, but maybe it's just a Dream of the Samurai kind of thing. Yeah, probably. Just wait and see how things get modified. Because don't forget, in Nioh 2, it's like They introduced the curse mechanic, and then it was like, oh fuck! Now I have to worry about an enemy hitting me, otherwise they'll lifesteal. Oh, and they need to take more key damage, and they deal damage, and they HP regen. And I have to get rid of the curse. Oh yikes! So who knows? Who knows how they will address things? But we will see over time. So is it going to release on PC the same time? Yes. Yes, it will. Hello, sir. Do you have a minute to talk about our Lord and Savior, Gigagaki? Yo, no, just... You're emotionally banned. You're emotionally banned, Mark. That's it. It's over. Real talk, was there any good stuff revealed today? A lot of information. So rather than me just like regurgitate everything I've said, what I would encourage you to do is to check out this Nioh 3 hands-on preview playlist, which has all the content that I thought would be the most interesting to show based on the footage that I had captured. So you have my gameplay impressions where I just talk about like, hey, I generally like the game. Here's my feelings about it overall. But naturally, because people want specifics, that's what I have the Q&A for. And then if there's particular things you want to see, you can check this out. So just like couple exploration things I thought were neat. And the stuff that I show is generally new in some capacity, whether it's like, oh, hey, a returning enemy is here, or here's something new way I played it, or just something I think you might like. These 3 out of these 4 bosses are new. I tried to show all the new skills, so check it out. And on top of that, aside from these videos, as I have linked in this video here, in the description, I posted screenshots, and there are approximately 300 for you to take a look at your own time. So yeah, and don't forget, the website has been updated as well so in the video, I say, hey, I know 12 out of the 14 weapons, but they just made it public literally today, the identity of all the weapons that will be coming in the base game. So check that out. They made some updates. So yeah, characters, stages, and weapons updated. So I'm sure that'll be enjoyable to you. Okay, so let's see what else we got. Did you manage to go out of bounds during the demo? I did not. I would have loved to have done so, but I was not able to. There'll be a demo after the release. Okay. Do I think Split Staff will be a specific ninja weapon and Switchglaive will be samurai? Oh, I don't even have to guess. Because guess what? Samurai style is getting Switchglaive, confirmed. Ninja style is getting Split Staff, confirmed. So they are there. Are there any changes to stats like levels? What? Yeah, so they as opposed to 8 core stats, there's 7 ones. But that was already known before. Have you talked about the open world zone concept? Is that not allowed? Oh, you can ask me that. That's fine. I'm here to answer questions. So feel free to ask them. So what would you like to know about it? Just let me know and I'll happily answer. Okay, a question. Hi, Poofer. Not sure if you've answered this already, but how is the transmog system? Is it identical to Nioh 2 or incorporates elements from Rise of the Ronin? Unfortunately, I don't have any data about that because I didn't get to mess around with like a blacksmith or anything of that nature. So my presumption is it's going to be identical to Nioh 2, but I don't know if, so I just don't know about anything beyond, whatever my assumptions are, unfortunately. The map looked like you played area 5. If we get 5 or 6 areas, like your out of bounds time, the game will get massive. Yeah, I certainly think it's going to be massive. We at least know we're getting 4 areas. I suspect this is 4 areas we know about. And there's going to be a lot more involved. I would be very surprised if there wasn't more information about it. more things in the full release. So far, everything is looking stacked as fuck. Like immeasurable. Like it's 14 weapons in the base game's a lot. The styles are a lot. Like there's a lot of things. So far so good. In my opinion, if things just keep going in this direction, like Nioh 3 is just going to be a game I stick with for a very long time. So overall, looking pretty positive. Okay. I wonder if you can fly with the open world. So let me see. I think they have something they showcase now with the Guardian Spirits. They have like let's see if they show it, the Spirit Vein. Why do they have the Gaki here? Team Ninja, what the fuck's wrong with you? So they have like Spirit Vein where you can like jump up really high. They're like special sections where you can like wall run. So it's pretty immense. So they kind of have that, but it's not exactly like straight up flight. Video outdated on a release, shaking my head. I won't play Team Ninja. Can you still wave dash with katana like the evasion cancel? I believe so. So for the open world discoverables, do the hidden stuff seem easy to miss or something that's more, yeah, it makes sense so far? It seems like we have to put a little bit of effort into it, but it overall like makes sense. And there's usually a guide like a Scampuss or there's a Chichiko nearby. But yeah, it doesn't seem like your hand is held. I mean, it didn't feel like it was obvious to me, and it didn't feel like it was so hidden that it was really frustrating. It just seemed like I put enough time into something and I will find it eventually. Gotta pay $15 to Arc of Chaos? No. You probably will just get Arc of Chaos as a crucible weapon thing or some shit. I don't know. Okay. Not sure if it's been asked, but how does Kusarigama feel to play? It felt pretty cool, honestly. I was pretty happy with it. In terms of super specifics with it and the comparisons to Nioh 2's Kusarigama, a little hard for me to say, even despite my time with the alpha. But there were a lot of things that got mixed up for the Kusarigama that I was very happy with. So here, I got some photos and whatnot. So this is all ninja style, bear in mind. But you kind of have like some parries you can work with. And that there are kind of present from the Nioh 2 weapon moveset. Different combo enders have been adjusted. Different weapon things have been adjusted, which is kind of neat. I was surprised that, like, for example, foot sweep is now just an on guard thing. I'm like, oh, that's different. That's kind of cool. It's a parry based thing. Neat. So yeah, like there's a lot of customization. So a lot of parries do compete for each other, which is a little irritating, but whatever. But there's enough variance, and like it's all things considered pretty cool. But I really find out how it plays the more, but that I'll find more how it plays on the main release, but I feel like I really need to understand how ninja style flows in general, and that's something that I know is lacking for me. So we'll find out over time. But so far, I'm curious. How's Onmyo Magic looking? So as I mentioned before, on this stream, for me, Onmyo Magic in Nioh 2 wasn't exactly like a big massive thing that I invested in. So for me, I'm more curious about Onmyo Magic than I was before. So to me, it's a net upgrade, but naturally for other people who are used to Onmyo Magic from Nioh 2, the whole system with Soul Cores can feel a little jarring. But to me, Onmyo Magic is still super powerful. Like, the summoning seals are ridiculous, and the Onmyo magic I do get to use has been overall pretty useful. But in terms of, like, a deep, deep core understanding of it, I don't really have that yet. Poofer, you think they'll give guns to Gakis? How much time do I have left to stream? How much? You have to deal with 30 more minutes of this shit from you, Axel. Get out of here. You're emotionally banned too. Been betrayed by you. What the fuck? Okay. Are there gameplay options you can modify like Ninja Gaiden 4 has? There might be some equivalent of a Stone of Penance thing where you basically scale enemies a little bit, but in terms of the same way as you could in Ninja Gaiden 4, I don't think so. I don't think there will be. I think the experience is pretty much just like one thing, and the way that you customize your own experiences through like your builds. Explore open fields. Oh my god, I hope this is not an open world game. So, open... It just means you... Let me put it this way. When it comes to the open field areas, I understand that many players who have come from Nioh are like, oh shit, I don't necessarily just want to go down to like a really empty world type of thing. My experience with the open fields in Nioh is very different from like other games where it's a little more dead. For me, exploring things in Nioh 3 has been largely purposeful. So even if it's like a quiet area and it's like your game base hub, like your hub, like when you just like relax there, there's still like something to do nearby. There's like a Sudama vendor, as I showed in my select exploration clips, or like a Scampuss, or just like something chill to find. But so like that was fine. But the open field in general, the way that I like to look at it, which makes the most sense for me, is as if they took all the missions, the main missions, the side missions, and just like kind of like jam-pack them together in like one big map. And there's no like repeat areas or some shit. It's like, okay, here's your main mission area. It looks distinct. Here's your side mission area. It looks distinct. And now they're all interconnected and feel free to go explore. So it's like, okay, you don't have to like load a mission on the mission. You know how like in Nioh 2 or Nioh 1, you'd have like your main screen where you like pick the mission. Now it's like, okay, that's done away with. And instead of picking the mission, you just travel from place to place. You can teleport via a shrine. It's like, okay, cool. You can just like freely walk around the open field and like kill shit and go from side mission to side mission, main mission to main mission, whatever. And if you really want like your super intense carnage like main mission, that's what you have the crucibles for, where it's just like non-stop enemies and stuff. So I'm overall like pretty positive about the open field stuff. It still retains that like intensity that I associate with Nioh, so I'm all good. But that's just my opinion about it, of course. Okay, what else we got? Are those a classic active button stuff? Yeah, they are. So let's get back to it. No. I'm not in, I don't need to see ads for my own videos. Fuck off. Okay, a video game ad. This actually makes sense. Here, I'll just let this play in the background. So, right, I modified my controls so that I could have it more in like classic Nioh 2 style. You can adjust your controls as you see fit, so if you want the directional inputs, you can do so. If you want some other variation, go ahead and do so. The customization is all there. They have presets. One of the presets is basically Nioh 2 controls, which I picked, and then I modified it a little bit, but you can adjust it however you want. Poofer, how hard was Great Tengu? Base Tengu are obnoxious as is. I didn't get to fight the Great Tengu myself because I ran out of time, but it looks pretty complex from what I understood, and it looks fun. I'm sure it'll be a nice challenge. Will grinding for armor sets be better than it was in Nioh 2? I don't know the answer to that, unfortunately, because I didn't test that at all. I just know I got a shit ton of loot. What I also did notice is that our loot limit has been extended from 600 to 2,000. That's what I saw. And I was like, great, great. My inventory capacity has been tripled. More loot management. Hooray. But it's to be determined. Okay, let's see what we got. Or maybe they put more magic scaling on consumable items like in the previous games? Yeah, maybe. It's something we'd have to test more. Question. Will Nioh 3 rival surpass Elden Ring so that Souls fans can finally shut the hell up? For context, Ninja Gaiden is my favorite. All-time favorite franchise with Nioh following? To be honest, I don't think so. Well, how it succeeds and whatnot is not something that I can fully understand, but I'm not really, truth be told, whether or not Nioh 3 rivals or surpasses Elden Ring is not a question I focus on at all. I am just focused on, hey, am I gonna have a lot of fun? To me, I think I will have significantly more fun with Nioh 3 than I will with any game by FromSoft, easily. And if someone is a diehard fan of something to the point that they're obnoxious and toxic, there's nothing I can do to shut them up. They're just going to keep their opinion. Right? Whatever. I'm just not concerned with that altogether. It's just, to be frank, very much a waste of my time. So, yeah. Like, I don't want to get into this whole space of like, oh, let me argue with people about like which game is better. I'm like, no, people can enjoy them both. It's just, it is what it is. Just have fun. Like, we're just here playing video games, people. Like, please don't get fucking crazy over this shit. But hey, people will. Okay, so ad block maybe? Yeah, maybe. Question, did you see any flash attacks? Yeah. Samurai style has flash attack. Ninja style also has flash attack. And then, since you're asking if there's kind of one in between the styles, kind of. Here you go. So it's like enhanced style shift, unleashes an attack in the vicinity when performing a style shift, and then you get a buff. So you either can increase the rate at which your arts gauge gets a boost or ninjutsu style. So yeah, you have that. You get a buff with your attack, with your style shift attack. It's not exactly like a straight up flash attack, but it's just style shift. Are visual effects on attacks more juicy, or I was just playing Nioh 2 on low settings? I think they're juicier. I think they're clean, personal experience. So when it comes to the whole like, will mainstream like Nioh 3? I'm gonna be very honest. I don't care whether they do or not. I just know I'm pretty confident I'm gonna enjoy this game. I'm just gonna enjoy it. Other people want to join in, join in. Don't want to join in, don't. How the game performs in sales, not my problem. I don't care. I'm sorry to say. I just want to enjoy my time enjoying a video game that I enjoy. So that's it. That's all I focus on. I'm not going to get into these arguments over what game is better. I'm not gonna debate. I'm not gonna try to convince people why Nioh 3 is fun for them. I'm like, dude, if you don't find it fun and you don't want to open yourself to the possibility, then I'm not gonna try to convince you. I'm cool with it. It's not my job to tell you what you think your game preferences should be. That is yours. If you want to be curious about my stuff, whether it is me personally or the way that I play, I'm here. And if not, that's cool. That's all that there is to it. So I have just I have the same mentality when it comes to Ninja Gaiden 4. I know there's a lot of people who don't like Ninja Gaiden 4, or at least a lot of loud people on the internet who don't like Ninja Gaiden 4. I'm like, that's fine. I don't need to participate in that. That's fine. You guys don't like it for whatever reason. I do. That's fine. We have a difference in opinion. If you are curious about why I enjoy the game so much, I'd be happy to show you and show you what I really enjoy. But if that's not in your prerogative, then cool. We don't have to associate. It's fine by me, bro. Okay. So moving on from that. Is there any Ninja Gaiden-like style for ninja playstyle, like Hayabusa Ryu and Rise of the Ronin? Not exactly, but it seems like a lot of the skills for like... Here, I can just show you some clips for Ninja Sword. There seems to be a lot of like really, really cool types of things for it, which can kind of remind you of that speed of Ninja Gaiden, perhaps. So you can take a look at that. How do you feel about Living Artifact? I think it's fine. I've heard people say that Fighting Cowboy thought it was broken. I'm like, I mean, I think it's fine as it was. I didn't think it was like too busted. I think, yeah, you got the martial arts and living weapon, but it's not something that can't just be tweaked. It's just like numbers, and in the demo, we're a bit over leveled. So that plays a factor into it. And we're on base difficulty, so sure, we're going to be more powerful, but we're also designed to evaluate. It's designed in a way that we're trying to just evaluate the game and give impressions. I'm not going to focus on like things that can be tweaked. I'm focused on big picture, philosophical things. And philosophically speaking, I think Living Artifact is fine. I'm pretty sure opinions about it will change as the game progresses and get more difficult. Do you have much experience with the ninja style as it relates to Tonfas? I do not. I do not play Tonfas at all. But my impression of the Tonfas was that, like, is the same as it is with all things ninja style weapon related, which is that I need some time to evaluate it. But just based on first glance, it's looking kind of neat, looking pretty cool. And I think the more that I understand how to use ninja style, the more kick-ass fun I will have with it. And so that concerns such as, hey, what do I do with my fucking key won't really be a concern. I'm pretty sure. Why is your Nioh 3 website updated actually? I have no idea why yours is not while mine is. The Nioh 3 website shows updates depending on language. Oh. Why do people think Nioh 3 won't be fun? I don't really know the full scope of things. People will find reasons that it's not fun for reasons that I'm just too tired to consider at this point. Either I focus on, hey, let me try to tell you why you should have fun with it, versus, here, I'm just gonna go have fun with it and keep doing things that support me enjoying it. And if you guys want to participate, join in. Either I go down an unfun route, trying to convince people it could be fun, or I could just go have the fun. And I'm like, I'm just gonna go have the fun, bro. Okay, would I say Nioh 3 is overall faster paced than Nioh 2? I don't necessarily know about the speed. I think in some ways with ninja style it's faster, but I don't like saying that it's faster because I think what's more appropriate to say is that it's more dynamic. I think it's much more dynamic. So, yeah. I think it's just like there's a lot more options and a lot more creativity possible. And I like that. I want the game to sell well. I don't want it to get corrupted by unhealthy influences. That's all I'll say about the whole like popularity mainstream stuff. That's all. What do you think about being able to parry red attacks? Well, with the burst counters and stuff and burst break, I think it's appropriate. I think that's fine. Oh yeah, also, here's... If you need a reason to pre-order Nioh 3 or some excuse, here you go. Here's your excuse. You get to turn around into a massive Scampuss. That's all you need to know. New camera looks good. I think the FPS is a bit low, also blurs sometimes. For the alpha, I think so, but my experience with this demo was overall pretty good. Okay. Okay, what do we got? Just catching up a little bit to chat. Are there any Rise of the Ronin type moves in Nioh 3 like the Blue Demon style? Kind of. So here's a really cool one. So Morning Moon Impact, kind of neat. Check out this next move. Swift Step Heavy. That so now play it again. I thought that was pretty cool. So yeah. So there's that. There's some Odachi moves. Oh hey, it's Master. What's up? So okay. So here we go. So hold on, Master. I got a queue of questions. You're gonna have to wait. Okay, where am I at? Let's see. Question about living artifacts. They look so freaking cool. Also, how do they impact the gameplay compared to living weapon from Nioh 1 and Yokai Ship from 2? The way that I think they're much more engaging in general. Because it's almost the way that I see it is like it's combining the best parts of 1 and 2 together. So you've got your guardian spirit skills, you can transition between the styles. So it's just, and now with the martial arts being accessible for both things, it's like a super powerhouse that's very dynamic. And so it's too early for me to tell, but I feel like it has the potential to be the most enjoyable option, straight up. Okay. Poofer, are you gonna do the what does 2,000 hours look like for Nioh 3? Probably, yeah. Which weapons would you like as DLC for Samurai 1 and for Ninja? It's really hard to say, I gotta be totally honest. They got 14 weapons revealed. Like, that's a lot. And from the short amount of time I got to play with the demo, 14 weapons, like, whew. It's just, it was overwhelming, all things considered. Nice shirt. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. I got it from a really cool person, by the way. It's, when it comes to weapon play, like, it's too early for me to tell. Like, I don't even know what new weapons I would want. I just want to, like, understand what I'm working with first. Okay, where are we at now? Okay. Okay, I think I caught up. Okay, okay. Yeah, I think I caught up. I think I'm okay. But yeah, obviously to Team Ninja's community manager master, thank you for inviting me. Like, it's never expected it and I'm very grateful. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it, and thanks for dropping by, and hope to see you around next time. Okay. But yeah, I think I miss any questions from people? Okay, question. So Omeo has been reduced to soul cores to soul cores. Will it be like that when the game comes out, or will there be a skill tree in Nioh 2? As Switchwave and Split Staff for Omeo weapons? I don't know the answer to that question, but so far the data suggests that Omeo is being reworked dramatically. So it seems like they may not be a skill tree, but what they will probably do instead, which is my guess, is that they will modify things and like common skills so you can kind of like customize things a little bit. It seems like there's just going to be kind of I almost want to call it a tectoral shift for how they are addressing each of these things. Did I ask for more gakis? Are you serious? No such thing as enough gakis? Please stop. Please stop. Did I ask for more gaki, chiefs? Okay. Thank God I only have 10 minutes before I stop the stream. Oh. Yeah, emotional ban. You too. Okay. You know what, chat? Okay, we're going to degeneracy territory. This is when I know it's time for me to stop the stream. Did I ask about Ninja Gaiden 4 DLC? No. I was so focused on Nioh 3 things. But okay. So... I know, Odie. Okay, well, then in that case, doesn't look like anyone has any last minute questions. Can you transform into a Gaki? Joey does not. Stop. Just stop. No. Alright, see you later, Swolepool. Have a fun time. Yeah, alright, so it doesn't look like anyone has any big questions. Certainly didn't miss anything. How many players can play in co-op, and does it change health of bosses? See, that's a proper question. You can have 3-player co-op. So I will show you right here. Yep, you can do 3-player co-op. So 1, 2, 3. You can explore the open field together. You can have your fun time. Does it change health of bosses? I imagine it does. I don't know how much. I would be surprised. Are they gonna add local co-op? I don't think so. I think it's just gonna be 1 person per console or 1 person per system. Unfortunately, crossplay between platforms is not compatible. Did I fight Gakida Shingen? Troll, stop. No, I did not fight Takeda Shingen or Great Tengu. There was more fantasy fashion or slightly different one styles not presented in Nioh 1 and 2. Yeah, you do have the it looks like now with the addition of the Bakumatsu period, right? So we got Edo, Sengoku, the Heian era, and now the Bakumatsu, right? Because of that, we have some new characters, and I imagine here, I'll try to show you the new ones. So we have some like new looks, basically. So I imagine we'll be able to dress up like this, so I guess we will see. So I imagine, yeah, we'll get some new fashion stuff. How do you get your friends interested in this game if they didn't get into Nioh 2? Probably, if they're not interested in Nioh 1 or Nioh 2, there's a high likelihood they won't be interested in Nioh 3. The only thing that could possibly work is understanding what they're interested in and seeing if there's an overlap with Nioh 3. If there isn't, then there's nothing you can do about it. But I wouldn't try to like force them to play it. Did you ask about Venus Vacation Prism? Bro, get out of here. Which is the best waifu? It's subjective. Does the jump really change gameplay pace? I don't think it changed the pace that much as just added an extra dimension to it. So I found that like learning how to jump and whatnot and incorporating that in my gameplay, just it was almost like I had to activate a different part of my brain. But yeah, it was pretty unique, all things considered. So it still felt like kind of a similar pace that I'm used to, but yeah, like similar pace that I was used to, but it's just like an extra dimension. Are there moves that can be countered more effectively by jumping or jump parrying? Yeah. There's moves you can just outright avoid with the jump. And I think some things are some things are just more suitable to be jumped over in the first place. Especially with like Ninja Style. Ninja Style has a lot of those fun moves related to that. And so I remember even in the alpha, like fighting Yamagata Masakage, right? This guy, like his yokai form or whatever, which was like a Yagyu soldier. He did like a fire wave and you could just like either jump over it or like teleport, or like there were just many different options. And then if you like in Ninja Style, you could just like jump up and attack. And then I remember as he does his fire thing, I did like spinning drill and it just like looked really cool. So it's the pacing felt the same, but it's like, hey, as opposed to just being paced in one direction, now you have like an extra direction to like weave in together. It's like really cool. Yeah, Axel. Or like I could jump and then do Pollard in the air against like an enemy. So that was pretty wild too. So it's pretty cool. But yeah, fun times. So let's see. Yes, and so there are, so Munch, just to verify, there are jump and air combos like in Ninja Gaiden. Maybe not exactly the same, but if we take a look at, say, things like with Ninja Style, you can just kind of see what's going on. There's like airborne abilities. So you got like Sky Rift, which kind of looks like Flying Swallow, for example. There's a lot that you can mess around with. There's a lot of like aerial components to things that you can weave together and kind of like create your own custom combos. Take a look at this ability, Shadow Cyclone. It's pretty wild. I bet it eats your key, yeah. But imagine if you're in living artifact mode and you're just like living artifact and then just do Shadow Cyclone combo and just go wee back and forth over and over and over again. Like you could do that. You don't have to worry about key anymore. Which makes it an interesting option then. Are the hitboxes accurate? I'm pretty sure they will be. So you can have that like fancy like, oh, your attack just barely goes under an enemy. I'm pretty sure it'll be just like it was in Nioh 2. Yeah, Zuna drops in the game. You do fight. There is something you get for fighting, I think, Yasusuke Sawamura, who was in Rise of the Ronin. What, Joey? What are you testing? You see some stuff on the official page regarding the character creator. There's accessories. Oh, are they? Cool. Yeah, Zuna Drop has been a thing in both Nioh 1 and Nioh 2, but now to have it, what appears to be the base game for Nioh 3 is quite a surprise. Nioh 4 coming when? No idea. Maybe they're working on it right now. Alright. I think we're done. Dang, took me nearly 3 hours to answer everything. Have to catch up. Alright, well. I think then I'm gonna start wrapping up the stream. Yeah, I got like 2 minutes anyway. What's this? Alright, so I think that's gonna wrap up the Q&A. It's been basically 3 hours. So, if you guys haven't already checked it out, do take a look at this playlist, for sure. Now let me pause this. No, I don't need another Arby's ad. So for those of you who want to, if you look at my homepage, you can, like, I know I'm releasing this stuff here, and it'll show more publicly a little later, but you can just go to the playlist, and then here you go. So yeah, you've got all 8 of the videos. I'll be releasing these and just over time so that they become more public, but you can already watch all of them right now. And don't forget, on top of that, no, I don't, why Arby's? I don't care. All right. Also, even in the description of this live stream here, there should be the resources you need. So you got the preview playlist, and then don't forget that you have your 300 screenshots. And so you can see all of these things for yourself. Every little thing that you could possibly want. All right, the stuff about like versatility, for example. All right, so you got your versatility, you got your summoning basics, and so on. So you can take a look at all those resources, get what you need, get the information you want, and yeah, you should be all good to go. And then last but not least, of course, the Nioh 3 website does have updated information. So we are confirmed to have 14 weapons in between both styles. So, you know, we have the 7 ones that are here, right? We got these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then you've got these 7 weapons here. So now they're all official. We know what we're going to get basic weapon wise, which is great. And yeah, hopefully this should be enough for you guys to work with and process and whatnot. And then of course, if you have questions, you can always ask me in another stream. But other than that, I think this is it for the Nioh 3 Q&A stream. Jeez, a lot of information. So yeah, any last minute questions before I go, or I think we're all good. Nioh 3 combo mad when? Soon. Soon, whenever that is. To be determined. All right. All right, well then, that's going to be it. Thank you guys so much for watching, for being here. No, not tomorrow, last to load. Not tomorrow. No combo mat tomorrow. Get out of here. All right. In any case, thank you guys so much for watching, for being here, and I will see everybody in the future, hopefully with more Nioh 3 news. But I will see you guys later. Take care and bye.